guest, Your Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Governor, Central Bank of Oman, Your Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani, Your Excellencies, CEOs, honorable guests, welcome and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is with great pride and anticipation that we welcome you all to the 10th edition of this New Banking or New Age Banking Summit, NABS 10. This milestone in this year marks a decade, 10 years of transformative dialogue, innovation and collaboration in Oman's banking and financial service sector. Over the past 10 years, NABS has evolved from a bold idea into a national platform for financial innovation, consistently aligning with the objectives of Oman Vision 2040. This year's theme, as you see on the screen, is Banking Beyond Boundaries, which shows an emphasis on the convergence of innovation and its importance, as well as sustainability, as we all stand at an intersection of technological advancement and also financial responsibility. NABS 10 aims to explore how emerging technologies and sustainable practices can redefine the banking landscape here in the Sultanate of Oman, from AI-driven solutions and technologies to green financing initiatives. This year's summit will delve into strategies that ensures the banking sector remains resilient and forward-thinking. In alignment with our traditions of recognition and excellence, we will also present the Oman Banking and Finance Awards during this summit. But for the very first time since inception, we will also be presenting the FinTech Excellence Awards as well, honoring FinTech startups that have shown potential in different financial sector and that help move Oman forward. We do believe it is our duty to recognize these outstanding efforts and achievements of organizations and individuals that have shown exceptional performance and innovation in different sectors. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the students who are joining us here today from the College of Banking and Financial Studies, CBFS, who have joined here and are the future of the country when it comes to this sector. Today's event has been made possible through unwavering support of different partners and strategic partners as well. So starting off with our strategic partners, Sohar International, JBM and Cisco. Our cloud service partner, as you can see on screen, is Oman Data Park. Associate partners, United Securities and United GCC Fund. Our insurance partner, Arliva Insurance. Education partner is College of Banking and Financial Studies. And support partners are Mala'a and Credit Oman. And of course, our automotive partner that has always been within this journey with us, and that is none other than Shangan. Your contributions have played a crucial role in making the success and making this event possible for everyone. And before we begin, I would like to turn your attention to your tables where there is a QR code that has been placed. You can scan that code on your tables to get up-to-date information about the event, sponsors, speakers, and even panelists of what we will see in, of course, the upcoming period of the event. So now, it is time to start and to officially commence the proceedings of the 10th NABS edition. We would have the honor of inviting Mr. Atulya Sharma, CEO of United Media Services, to deliver a welcoming speech and walk us through what the day would look like.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, a very good morning and Salam Alaikum. On behalf of His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani, I warmly welcome you to the 10th edition, a milestone edition of the New Age Banking Summit and Awards. We are grateful to His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, for gracing today's event. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's truly a privilege to see visionaries, technologists, and decision makers in our midst, all gathered under one roof and united by one purpose, to reflect on the future of banking and finance in Oman. At United Media Services, it has been our enduring mission to create platforms where ideas converge, conversations deepen, and industries accelerate. Today is one such moment. The banking sector in Oman stands at a pivotal juncture, driven by robust economic growth, technological innovation, and strategic diversification efforts. Banking remains a cornerstone of Oman's economy, providing the majority of credit to both the government and the private sectors. In 2024, for example, Oman's banking sector demonstrated resilience with a 15% rise in profitability and steady growth in deposits and credit, supported by strong capital and liquidity ratios well above the regulatory environment or requirements. Talking about 2025, Oman's banking sector is poised for still stronger growth, underpinned by a healthy GDP and credit expansion driven by mega projects and non-oil sector growth. Today, Oman is not just catching up, but is innovating on its own terms. The Oman Credit and Financial Information Center, known as MALA, serves as the Sultanate's official credit bureau and national data bank for credit and financial information. The initiative enhances financial inclusion and supports responsible lending practices by providing comprehensive credit information. Similarly, the FinTech Regulatory Sandbox by the Central Bank of Oman helps foster innovation within the financial sector by allowing FinTech companies to test new products in a controlled environment. This initiative aims to enhance financial inclusion, promote a cashless society, and of course, attract venture capitalist investment, aligning with Oman's broader objectives for economic growth and diversification. In fact, at today's event, we at UMS, with the support of our external domain experts, are privileged to felicitate a few FinTech entities that, in our judgment, are making a huge impact with their meaningful work. Let's have a round of applause. Ladies and gents, we are living in an era where the lines between finance, technology, and lifestyle are blurring by the day. Collaborative efforts between banks, FinTech firms, and government bodies under programs like Istidama aim to build a vibrant FinTech ecosystem aligned with Oman Vision 2040, attracting foreign investment and expanding FinTech employment. The establishment of Oman's Financial Services Authority in 2024 marks a new era of regulatory maturity supporting the insurance, capital markets, and the banking sector. This regulatory evolution complements His Majesty Sultan Haitham's Oman Vision 2040 and Oman's broader economic diversification strategies, which emphasize sustainable finance, Islamic banking growth, and ESG principles. In conclusion, today the Sultanate's banking is more inclusive, efficient, and aligned with the economic ambitions of the country. It is not only resilient, but also rapidly evolving through technology and strategic reforms. However, this transformation cannot happen in silos. It happens when regulators, banks, tech firms, academia, and startups, all of them come together and work towards building a value chain where innovation is not only encouraged, but de-risked and scaled up. Before I conclude, allow me to extend our deepest gratitude to all our partners for making this event possible. This summit is a result of our collective vision and effort, and we thank you for standing with us. Thank you very much. I now invite you to all engage deeply today, ask questions, and challenge assumptions. Because the future of Oman's finance is being shaped right here, in Muscat, in Salalah, in Sur, in Sohar, and in rooms like this. Thank you, and I wish you all an insightful and inspiring day ahead. Thank you.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for this compelling and insightful address that we just had that set the tone for this day. And now it's with honor that I invite on stage our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, to deliver his keynote address.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. This profound truth reminds us that our greatest obstacle is often our own hesitation. So today we stand at a pivotal moment, a moment brimming with limitless potential and opportunities, fueled by innovation, resilience, and conviction. And the future belongs to those who believe in the power of their dreams. And I stand before you, strongly believing in Oman's limitless potential. Our direction is clear: to position Digital Oman where world-class infrastructure, adaptive regulation, artificial intelligence, and modern banking converge to create an ecosystem of trust, speed, and inclusive growth. These pillars are not just isolated efforts. They are interconnected enablers working in harmony to shape a smarter, more resilient financial landscape. The Central Bank of Oman is committed to orchestrating this synergy, ensuring that each element complements the others to drive sustainable progress. Our digital infrastructure stands as testament to our relentless pursuit of innovation, with 98% internet penetration, 88% coverage of 4G and 5G networks, and mobile penetration surpassing 110% of the population. Oman has laid a solid foundation. This is the bedrock upon which we will construct a future of limitless possibilities. As Thomas Edison famously said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. We are diligently working layer by layer to turn visionary ideas into tangible realities, transforming our aspirations into impactful, tangible outcomes. The Central Bank of Oman is a catalyst for this transformation. Through pioneering initiatives like the National Digital Economy Strategy and the FinTech Executive Program, we are setting the stage for a new era. And today, I am proud to share that we will very shortly unveil the digital banking framework and open banking regulatory framework, among the groundbreaking pillars that will transform our financial landscape. These frameworks will unlock unparalleled opportunities, fostering innovation, enhancing competition, and empowering consumers with secure and personalized services. The true power of these innovations lies in data. When harnessed responsibly, data can serve as the catalyst for personalized, secured innovation and financial solutions, such as eKYC and open banking that put the customers at the center. Our commitment is to serve our people, building the trust, ensuring security, stability, and creating a financial ecosystem rooted in integrity and excellence. These technological leaps open doors to faster onboarding, smarter credit assessments, stronger fraud prevention, and broader financial inclusion. Someone once said, "The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams." Today, we are creating the tools that will enable every Omani to dream bigger, reach higher, and fulfill their potential. Supporting this vision is the Omani Future Fund, fueling startups and SMEs with flexible, forward-looking capital. Remember, to improve is to adapt, and to thrive is to adapt constantly. In the end, it is not the strongest nor the most intelligent that thrive, but those who constantly adapt to the ever-changing landscape. We are committed to continuous evolution, fostering an environment where innovation flourishes and where every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. Talent development is equally crucial. Through initiatives like the FinTech Professional Certificate at the College of Banking and Financial Studies, we are nurturing a new generation of digital pioneers. Someone wisely said, "Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one." We are investing in our greatest asset, our people, ensuring Oman remains at the cutting edge of technological innovation. The digital payments landscape in Oman exemplifies this progress. Over the past 2 decades, we have built a secure, efficient, and accessible system. For example, during Ramadan, over 1.3 million digital transactions daily were processed. That makes 86% of all payments, demonstrating the trust and confidence of our systems. Our journey continues, steadily transforming, maturing, and inspiring us all. Looking ahead, the central bank is preparing to launch the domestic card scheme and upgrade our payment infrastructure. Initiatives that will reduce cost and expand options for our citizens and market players alike. And very soon, the digital banking regulatory framework and open banking regulatory framework will further unlock our sector's potential, driving competition, facilitating innovation, and putting customers first. This is not just a progress, it is transformation, empowering Oman's financial future. The Vision 2040 is bold but achievable. We are committed to promoting a culture of creativity, resilience, and collaboration, laying the foundation for an economy that not only adapts to global trends, but also preserves its unique identity. The future of Oman's financial services and digital economy belongs to those who dare to dream big and seize every opportunity. Together, we will build a legacy of innovation, integrity, trust, and limitless potential, paving the way for a resilient and prosperous tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Well, what a way to start our morning. That was an inspiring and thought-provoking speech that looks forward to the bright future of the banking sector here in the Sultanate of Oman. It is time to move forward with our next speaker for today. And of course, he is a seasoned leader with a wealth of experience in financial services across different sectors. He is a respected CEO and a board member. He brings together a powerful blend of strategic vision and operational excellence. He has expertise when it comes to business planning, operations management, HR consulting, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Sheikh Khalil bin Ahmed Al Harthi, Chief Executive Officer of Credit Oman.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. UMS, I think they filled a gap in the events part, and it's very clear. And I would like to start with thanking UMS. I'd like to thank His Excellency for the inspiring words and actions equally, and thank Central Bank for being a catalyst truly for the changes. So allow me to start with reflecting by 2020. I was honored to join by 19/9/19, so I can remember the date, as simple as that. In 2020, I think the awareness about Credit Oman altogether was probably around a single digit. I'm hoping today we are hovering midway to the 3-digit. Let's hope by the end of this little session today, we reach as close as possible to the 3 digits. So allow me to start with 3 key numbers, 3, 2, 1. 3, when we refer to Vision 2040, there are 3 key indicators which we have picked up related to trade. I will be talking mainly about trade related, and then I will tell you why are we talking about trade, where it is the oldest craft in the business, and we are talking about new age. So let's start with 3. There are 3 key indicators which we have seen in 2040. One refers to diversification in GDP, whereas 90% of GDP has to be non-oil based. As you know, today we have a heavy reliance on oil and gas. It has always been the case because we are mainly a single-sourced economy where we rely predominantly in the hydrocarbon economy, and the vision of the country clearly states that 90% is what we aspire for. The vision has also identified 5 key sectors, which most of you would know. If we look at the reflection of the 5 key sectors today, they constitute something south of 20%, around 18% of the 5 sectors which are out there. So the vision is very clear that we need to go outside beyond the oil and gas. And then why trade? Because the trade is the outcome of these elements. When we focus about industry, when we focus about tourism, when we focus about these sectors, the end game for these sectors is to sell, in simple language. And the sell is the transaction which happens, which takes into place. So one is the vision diversity of GDP, which is going away from reliance on oil and gas. That journey is still far away, but I think there are strides. Naturally, when we are relying on calculating the GDP based on oil, oil is a commodity which goes up and down. So if it goes down, the other element goes up and vice versa. But I think there need to be a firm growth into all of these different sectors. Number 2 of the indicators in the vision of 2040 is the diversification of exports, Omani exports into countries. I believe about 80% of our non-oil and gas today goes to 10 countries, which is very high concentration in terms of export when we come to it today. We are not talking about the oil and gas. I think that's a well-sustained economy by itself. But we look at the components. You will find that the other sector, the concentration of geography, because Oman falls into a certain geography. Naturally, if you look at EU, most of the EU countries, for example, their bilateral trades are the strongest within them first, and it stretches beyond. For Oman, we have naturally the GCC and the Indian subcontinent, and we have started at Credit Oman, for example, in 24. We have seen an expansion of exports of our coverage of our portfolio from 50 countries to 55 countries. And some of them, you only hear them in the map or when you are just browsing in geography like Togo and some interesting countries where we are happy to see that there are many exports reaching out for that. And there is a very good reason for that export and diversification. I think everybody knows that we are waiting every morning eagerly for a new statement about a trade war, and it's a very, very big roller coaster of decisions where it's suddenly between 150% to 10% and so forth. And this keeps the economy at its toes, literally, for most of the time. So spreading the risk between different countries is quite vital. Indicator number 3, spread of products which we are exporting to the rest of the world. If you exclude oil and gas today, we look at non-oil export, you will find that 80% of our non-oil export revolve around 3 key sectors: petrochemical, minerals, and mineral products. These make about, out of the 6 billion, about 4.8 billion. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you with many numbers early in the morning, but I know bankers, they love numbers, so why not wake you up? So about 80%, which is 4.8, then what is left out is about 1.4 billion real, which is non-key 3 sectors, which are left out for us to export. So there is a huge need for us to diversify. I'll give you a simple example. We were looking at the ITC, International Trade Center, export potential. It's a very well-reputed website. During times when Oman was having an active dialogue with Tanzania, for example, we were looking at what does Tanzania look for in importing. Of course, they look at most of the regular stuff around the petrochemicals, etc. But we found, for example, that chewing gum is one of the key imports for Tanzania. And chewing gum, you don't need a hydrogen science project to do. You can do it really in a very simple way, and you can start, initiate an export. And I think this is an opportunity for the banking community also to harvest and start looking for opportunities where other peoples require something and we can target for. So these are the 3 key indicators: GDP, concentration of products export, and concentration of countries export when we look at the number 3. Number 2 is, according to ITC, International Trade Center says that Oman has a potential export of over $5 billion, which is about 2 billion riyals. 2 billion riyals is a very sizable number. If we, of course, reflect the current economy, then we will be talking about the same 80% of the steel, the aluminum, the petrochemical products which we are exporting, which I think now we need to sway a little bit away into looking at other dimensions, other type of products which are available out there. If we talk about $2 billion riyals, which are worth of that, I think there's a significant amount to be untapped into. Then one is when we did a little study some time ago with Ministry of Commerce and along with the central bank, I think we have realized that there is about over 1 billion riyals gap of trade finance, which is available in country, export trade finance. Export trade finance is a very important component. Again, trade is a centerpiece of a war which is going globally and reshifting powers. So we cannot neglect trade anymore. So if you look at the potential for that 1 billion across sectors and then ramping up, and I think Central Bank of Oman has also put in special incentives in terms of risk weightage, in terms of favorable lending for designated sectors. There is a very good potential to untap over 1 billion. Now, 1 billion riyal, probably for my banking friends here, will translate into at least 50 to 60 million riyals in terms of commissions and interest. So I think that's a language a banker will easily understand. So if we look at these 3 elements, then we are looking at capturing a significant size of the market of about 1 billion riyal, which is out there for us for a grab. Oman has an excellent political equity across all the countries. Like his beloved Sultan Qaboos, he said that when we look at the map, we want to see that everybody is a friend of ours. And I think that mission has been achieved, alhamdulillah. What is heartening now to see that His Majesty Sultan Haytham is capitalizing on that political equity and leveraging into economic bilaterals and relationships which are extending to the rest of the world. We all know very well that Oman is very well poised, respected politically, very well balanced. It's Switzerland of this part of the world, which is very difficult, but alhamdulillah, it's been managed. Now it's time for us to leverage into opportunities. There's one more indicator, I think, which I have read in the 2040, that to look at supporting SMEs. Today, I think the number for SME lending is about 3.7% of the total lending, whereas the objective is to reach 5.5%. Now, 5.5 is not a small number, given that. So you're talking about ramping up with another billion to $1.5 billion reals of additional lending for those. I am sure a lot of bankers, they have a lot of good accounts, but they don't have enough security to start lending. I am thankful for Central Bank of Oman for giving us a risk weightage of 20% from beginning of this year, alhamdulillah. A lot of dialogue now we enjoy. I'm not sure how many people get 20% in Oman, but we are very thankful because usually for state, it is 0 risk weightage and 100% for non-state, and we got 20%. This is purely, this leap of faith, I would say, was predominantly driven by central bank realization that SME has become a point of interest and concern from top as well to support them. And if you ask me, I would rather support the mid-curve. Let us not be obsessed about the beginning of the curve, how many people enter the SME system, from my personal perspective. God help the people who are at the brink of going to jail because of the failure. I think what is sustainable is that if we focus at the mid-curve for the sustainable business, the existing business, who are already trading, I would personally be more interested to hear somebody who's saying that I have a transaction, can you fund me for that transaction, compared to somebody, I have a great idea to start with. And this is a personal reflection. I'm sure there are other adventurous people who can take a fresh business. So I think it is time for us to unlock our potential. So Credit Oman was set up in '91 as a unit. We started the other way around. We didn't start with Credit Oman so that we can link it together. Was set up at '91 as a unit within Development Bank of Oman. 2021, it was independent financially, and so it became independent financially, and so it was part of Ministry of Finance. From 2021 up to date. So I'll give you the last, from 2020, the total exposure Credit Oman has had 106 million riyal. Last year, alhamdulillah, in 2024, we have closed for 376 million Omani riyal total coverage, of which about 2/3 is for export and 1/3 for Omani. So you remember we were talking about the 1 billion riyal gap of financing, of export finance. If you want a piece of that, please do come to Credit Oman already, and you will have that piece available for you and certified by a Central Bank of Oman with the risk weightage of those. I'm happy to say that we are engaged at different speeds with many financial institutions, because a lot of people, when they want to borrow money, they will go to their bank. The best way to unlock liquidity is to utilize such tools. And this is not an invention which is made today. There are companies which are 150 years old globally, which are doing such services. And I like to always use this example. It's a Ferrari at the basement, which is useless unless you take it out and use it. So my invitation for financial institutions, take a ride on that Ferrari and then accelerate your books and support the economy. Now, I would like to conclude by saying that there are a few key words which, moving forward, taking cue from His Excellencies, and then how are we living around. So one is innovation, very elastic word. What innovation means to you is different what it means to me. But if we still are debating what is innovation, somebody else will take it, and we are seeing rife examples. So the faster you think, don't be afraid of errors, don't be afraid, but be quick to learn. If you're innovating something and it doesn't work, be fast to adapt and then change your mind and then acclimatize. Two is agility, speed. Now, I think if when I was looking at how long did it take to take 1 million user, Netflix, for example, it took them 3.5 years. Reels, Threads recently, it took them 5 days to take 1 million user. So you see the pace of things, the speed of things. So therefore, agility is quite critical. We know that this is a heavily regulated industry, but the good news is that the regulator is becoming proactively progressive also to catch up with the market and propel it, because otherwise the capital will migrate from this company, from this country, and we are seeing some scary numbers of capital moving away from here, and the confidence has to be reconstructed within to start here, and agility is the name of the game. Adaptiveness is very important. Darwin said that it's not the strongest is not necessarily for the fittest, but for the most adaptive. So you can be thin and skinny, but you are very adaptive, and you can be strong and masculine, and you can disappear very quickly. So then it is your ability to adapt to the new norms of the market. And we are often obsessed about our products rather than what does the market want? What do people want, actually? We often neglect that fact. I have a product, I'm trying to push it to the throat of the people rather than understanding what's inside their throat and they want to tell me. So I think we should reverse the formula.
Trade safely.
By being customer-oriented, economy-oriented, solution-oriented, rather than being that. Now, how does this wrap up with ESG? ESG, if we focus on trade in Oman, trade, as you know, is the outcome. So if we focus on industry, the industry, if we produce a cable, if we produce whatever, they want to sell it by the end of the day. There are key benefits if you attach this to ESG. We are creating jobs. We are creating hard currency. We are creating a circular economy. We are becoming more independent in terms of our own resources. Everybody globally is talking about nationalism, protectionism. You call the name. You cannot be in this world individual. You cannot be living in isolation, unlike of some beliefs of some people we might hear on Twitter every now and then, but we cannot live alone. There will have to be collaboration. But the strength now is that which levers do you pull? What strength do you have? I was in Oslo about 4 months ago, and I was asking some friends there, how are things happening here? They say we are losing it to China. They are losing. They used to be innovative. They used to be class. They used to be whatever. The Scandinavia is very well known and still very wealthy country, but they are feeling they are losing grip over innovation, agility, and adoption. So these are if we are losing grip of these, then you need to very quickly recalibrate and put yourself in the global map in terms of trade. About 10 days ago, we were in Croatia, and one of the companies on the fintechs, not the fintechs, the providers of finance and credit insurance, they have a decision in 12 seconds for a credit for you. 12 seconds for a B2B loan up to 30,000 euro. Not 12 hours, not 12 days. 12 seconds. So you apply, by the time you fill up your form, the decision is spontaneous. And they are handling billions of dollars worth of turnaround. So we have to plug into those. We have to be aspirational. It doesn't have to be a mega project. They can be little projects. And I'm very interested to see fintechs proposals here and their ideas. I think almost every month, we receive different type of fintech, and we try to support them, give them ideas, try to plug into the supply chain, try to provide them with different support and ecosystem. So with that, I would like to thank you very much and wish everybody success. My last message is that let us recalibrate in trade, because the value for Oman is immense. I feel that trade and export, because I feel that is hardly neglected. It needs to become a centerpiece. The superpowers of the world are fighting for trade. And there's a very strong message for us on not to be too dependent and build our own teeth. Thank you very much, and wish you a successful day, inshallah. Shukran.
Continuous movement of construction and renovation is the reason for cities and establishments to flourish. Aspiring new prospects with insightful
Extensive vision, contributing to the growth and development as well as the competitiveness environment characterized with leadership and spirit. With solid economic fundamentals, adding new paths to national economy growth and accelerating the wheel of development to diversify sources of income to draw a clear impression to the local added value, seeking to achieve a leading country status among the developed countries. Credit Oman is a national agency that constantly seeks excellence and uniqueness in both the credit and financial sector. It strives to be the main tributary of the national economy. It commenced its services in 1991, consisting of credit insurance, guarantee, and exports financing to serve Omani exporters. Credit Oman's vision is in harmony with the strategy of the Sultanate to develop oil exports. It focuses on promoting these exports through a wide range of services to Omani companies. Credit Oman's approach will continue along with the Blessed Renaissance vision to achieve a stable economy with a diversified sources of income, an economy able to compete locally, regionally, and globally.
Well, thank you, Sheikh Khalil, for this amazing presentation that we had, and may Credit Oman grow with all the players in the banking sector here in the country. So we are honored to bring on stage someone who has been doing leading work when it comes to research, innovation, and talent development with a career that snaps industry and academia at the same time. He has done impactful work in China's AI sector and the financial services industry. That's none other than Dr. Kamal Al-Sabahi, Director of the Center of Excellence in FinTech at the College of Banking and Financial Studies, CBFS. Welcome on stage, Dr. Kamal Al-Sabahi.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, CEOs, industry leaders. Thank you for being here. And I'm proud to be here and honored also to talk about something very important. It's about fintech development, and also I'll talk about CBFS role in financial technology and also financial inclusion, inshallah. So let me start by a story from China, because I have lived in China, spent 8 years of my life. So, the Walmart executives went to China in 2006. And they met Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. And he told them that in 10 years, we will be bigger than Walmart. They said, are you crazy? You are dreaming too big. And he said, if you need to bring 10,000 new customers, how much you need? You need stores, staff, infrastructure, a lot of things. I need only 2 servers and engineers. That's it. So that will just like set the foundation for our talk today. So I'll talk about 4 things, inshallah, quickly. The first one is the evolution of banking. Also, we'll talk about global trends that are reshaping fintech, finance, and also we'll talk about future of banking. And then by the end, I'll talk about CBFS rules in those areas. Okay, so you can see here, this is just like a roadmap for banking, how they go from bank 1 to bank 5. That is yet to come, but it is starting. We are starting to see them. So we start with just like branch-based, manual work, paper-based. Then we introduce ATMs. Then after that, in bank 3, mobiles came through. And we see mobile banking, online banking, so many things become automated. Then after that, in bank 4.0, we see banking everywhere. So they said, it is just like this, it is embedded finance. We see banking everywhere, but not mostly at banks, right? This is, I'm biased with fintech, huh? Don't be sad, those bankers. So I think this one here, banking is everywhere, and with embedded finance, digital banking, a lot of things. And also banks, some of them are coming up with this trend. And this is expected to be into 2050, is bank 5.0. This is about autonomous. It will be fully automated, with AI, smart contracts, blockchain, a lot of things. So we'll expand more in this one here. So now, do you think who are working in banking? How many people are working in banking? I'm talking about how many partners are working, how many players in the banking sector. Not just banks. We have so many others. Now, take giant companies like Apple, Google, a lot of Amazon. Those are also competing with banking services. Also, fintech companies, they are agile, customer obsessed, easy to adapt, a lot of things. They are moving very fast. Also, AI players, they are working in the back end to automate things, to make things a little bit better. So all those people are working to serve customers in the banking sector, not just only banks. So those are just like some figures that I have compiled from somewhere. This is traditional banks. You can see here how many customers globally, but here, those are fintech. Look, almost double. And also here we have, this is 3% growth in 5 years, and here we have 200 growth in 5 years. And also we have here 50% revenue in 5 years, but in fintech we have 45%. Also here, one example here from China, you know Alibaba. Alibaba, now it is ENT Financial. They have Alipay. It's a payment platform. They have 1.6 billion customers. No branch, no paperwork, nothing. And here we have, they process almost 500K transactions per second. Do you know how many transactions processed by Visa per second? Only 50,000. So those people are working very hard. Let us move to something else, which is global trend reshaping finance. We are talking about here. The first trend is that we see a decline in the branches. So people are not opening branches anymore. You can see here. Because branches, they will not justify the operational cost, okay? So it's clear. The branches, opening new branches is not defining the new banking era. This is one. The second one is, here we can see the economic of going digital. 1 million, this is what they say, 1 million digital investment equal opening 300 branches. You can see that. Why? Because it's efficient, scalable, and also digital advantage is there as well. Okay, third trend is that like our payment are evolving. So now we can see 55% of the payment globally are processed using wallets. Only 5% using, this is crypto, and I think this will become maybe more, but cash only 10%, cards 30%. Okay, if we talk about security, some people, they say there is a trend, there is a myth that they said if you go more digital, there is a risk of cybersecurity. But data is showing us something else. Can you see here? This is Alipay. This is the risk, the fraud rate in Alipay. Only $1 US dollar for 10 million US dollar. You got that. How much is it in the non-present card? How much is it? Can you expect? How much is it? Will be for cards. How much? Can you give a number? You can see here. This is the fraud for non-present card fraud. Look, $1 US dollar comparing to, I think it is not comparable. This is not luck. It's about more data. It's about real-time control. It's about a lot of things. And we can see here, transactions like I mentioned before, this is 500K. But in Visa, it is just like 50,000 only, okay? So now, let us move to something else, futuristic. It might not be, it might not come, but it is coming, and there are a lot of signs that's coming. First of all, we are talking about the rise of autonomous corporations. Now, the future of work will be less human, right? People is talking about it. People are talking now about Unicorn, a company with 1 billion US dollar that run by only 5 people. Others will be AI. This is something that we are saying, people are working on it. And also here, AI-driven operations, we'll see a lot of AI automating a lot of things, and also we'll see smart contracts. We'll have to see both negotiating and executing deals, and doing a lot of things when they have, and managing suppliers and others, and also predictive engines. We'll see AI monitoring transactions, operations, and making some adjustments in real time. And this is what will define a company in the future, okay? The second trend is about smart bank account. Now, bank account is just like a number to hold your money. No, it will define you in the future. So a lot of things will be AI-powered, context-aware understanding, personalized finance advice. You can imagine if you ask your financial advisor, can I afford to go for a trip this summer? He will say. But AI-powered programs, applications like this that manage your finance will tell you exactly, because it know your history very well. The third trend is about machine-to-machine economy, right? Now, the customers for banks will not be just people. It will be machines as well. And this is very clear. Tokenized value, this is related to crypto, autonomous exchange, smart contracts, and a lot of things. The fourth one and the last one mentioning here is just like wallets. Wallets are bank account in the cloud. We'll see a lot of things, and it can be powered by AI, real-time payment, dynamic credit management, a lot of things. Now, let us bring you to the CBFS rule and Oman opportunity. And I think one of the things that I am very optimistic about is that when I hear the leaders of the company talk about this, they are passionate about it, they know, they have a clear vision, and I think we have the right time to go and just like take bold steps. That because like Your Excellency said, we have everything we need. Something that prevents us from achieving our dreams is just like our doubt and hesitation. And I think it is the right time to take bold steps. In CBFS, we know that we need to contribute in this direction. We have established the Center of Excellence in FinTech. Our vision was clear as a leading hub, talent development, and also as the ecosystem bridge between industry and academia. Those are our vision, and we have launched this center in December 2022 with this vision, Oman 2040. It was our North Star. Also, it is the first of its kind here in Oman. Our first achievement is the FinTech Professional Certificate. That people, they think that is just like a short training course. It is more than that. It is a professional certificate that's spanned for 2 semesters. We teach our students a lot of things that will prepare them, and we are seeing our alumni make a difference in their institutions and also in their companies, because some of them, they have startups. The first of this kind, not just in Oman, in the region, and also we have now over 50 graduates across different places, and also we have 2 tracks. We have 2 tracks, leadership and also technical. The second thing, this is just like some details about our 2 batches that we have that graduated last year and this year. We can see that a lot of engagements, a lot of participants coming from different places, and also we have local trainers who bring the local context, and also international one to give us the global context as well. Those are the organizations that our participants came from, different people here. What is next at CBFS? I'm moving very fast because I don't want to take a lot of your time. So here, we are planning to initiate, inshallah, in the near future, new certificates about FinTech and AI governance, because we know that as a regulator, this is a heavy regulated industry, and we need to strike a balance between regulations and innovation as well. This is very important. Also, we'll talk about financial data engineering, Islamic FinTech. Those are our focus for next year, inshallah. And also beyond training, we do support student innovation. We have executive programs, applied research, and also one of the things that we have done in the applied research is that we have tried to build a FinTech index for customer acceptance of FinTech products. And also we have industry connections. We have established an advisory committee that represent people from different organizations here, financial institutions here in Oman. And also we are planning challenges, hackathons, to just like give people some some knowledge and financial literacy about what is coming next. Final thought. Wallets are already replacing cards. Okay, this is clear. AI is already replacing manual credit checks because fraud detection now, we have credit scoring, a lot of things are automated by AI. Digital experience are already replacing branches. This is very clear. Last thing I need to say that Oman, like Your Excellency said, and also Sheikh, they have the talent. We have the vision. We have the institution and infrastructure. What we need just like to start. And we are at CBFS are ready to contribute and also to collaborate with every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal, for this amazing presentation that is giving technical terms into what we do and towards the future. Now, it is time to link what we have here locally in the Sultanate of Oman with a global perspective. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ken Habson, who's the Regional Data, AI and Security Technology Leader at IBM, to give his presentation.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's always good to be back in Oman, and thank you, Mr. Mohamed Al-Kurdi, for inviting me as a representative of IBM and GBM's partnership in Oman. I want to start with something fun today. Let's do this.
Hi, Ken. Welcome to Oman.
Good morning. Can I hear something about the nature in Oman?
Oman is for nature lovers, offering a wide array of stunning landscapes and ecosystems. Would you like me to locate and book access to a nature park?
Not right now. But tell me, how safe is Oman?
Oman is considered one of the safest countries in the Middle East and even globally for residents.
Impressive. What should my presentation be about today?
Since your focus is IBM data, AI, and security, it would be interesting to highlight Watson X, IBM enterprise-grade AI platform which is built for trust, architected to be open, flexible, and hybrid by design. This is where you can train, tune, and deploy your own models, IBM's model or open source models.
Great. So you've seen in the world today a lot of agentic applications, videos, chat GPTs, and so on. I just want to highlight that this was put together very, very quickly, very fast on a basic knowledge set that I put in there. And who knows, one day I don't have to come and stand on stage. This avatar can present everything for me, right? But we're not there yet. But what I want to highlight is these tools that are available for us is really, really impactful. But there's an approach of how to best take best advantage of these applications, right? So let's look at, when we talk about AI and automation and data specifically, it's been around us for a long time. It's not a new concept, right? So if you look at the research that was done in AI, it's been mostly done in the 70s and 60s, right? But now it's tangible. We've all felt it. We've gotten the taste, right? So, when in some sports, they say once you go into that sport, then you get the fever and you can't let go. So all these things that we do today in terms of updating our addresses with our banks, in terms of requesting an insurance quote, or even all the way down to checking in on a flight, right? There's a lot of automation. There's even, you can argue, some AI in the back of how it looks at your data, right? And processes it for you, right? But when we talk about agentic AI, the next revolution is not necessarily how the data predicts, right? But how the data should make decisions on your behalf based on what it thinks you need best, okay? So for example, if I want to request an insurance quote, I can certainly do that, right? But why can't my insurance company preemptively look at my insurance policy and say, hey, listen, you're coming to your renewal. We have these new offers. I've seen that you have certain types of either shopping or driving or whatever behaviors. This is the best package for you, right? So this is the next revolution that we should be looking at. Now we look at what our expectations of agentic AI is today, right? We expected it to be guided, right? So when we go to a bank online system, we don't want to have to figure things out. We want it to guide us. We want it to be connected. I don't want to go into one application to update my address and then another application to see my transactions and so on. Everything should be interconnected. Third, it should be informational. Today, a lot of banking applications are not informational. They give our perspective of our account, right? But it doesn't give us a holistic view of what else is available. And some of the things that are given to us, people argue are too salesy. They're pitching us for a new loan. They're pitching us for a new car insurance. So whatever the case may be, but it's not something that I'm asking for, right? So it should be informational to give me value. Second, it should be personalized, right? Obviously. Outcome driven. When there's an interaction with the bank, there should be an outcome, right? Why is it interacting with me? And lastly, it should be obviously omnipresent. You know, there's a joke in the West, they say people work banking hours, right? Because banks are usually opening till late afternoon and then they close especially in the US part, right? But we want our systems to be omnipresent, 24 hours, no matter what, at full speed, right? And this is where the agentic AI or the AI assistance opportunity comes, right? And I will dive a little bit deeper into the financial sector of how this is an untapped gold mine for you all, right? So let's look at what IBM's approach is to this holistic view that we talked about, right? So when we talk about that little avatar, right, it's one application. When I go to compose an email to my friends and I want it to be grammatically correct, I may go to ChatGPT, right? So there's different applications, different areas, right? However, when we talk about enterprise level, within especially regulated organizations like financial sector, right, we want to look at it in an enterprise way, okay? And the way that IBM has structured this is we start, and this is not technical at all, but just to help you structure how it's built, we start with a hybrid layer, right? Why is this important? Because when you're developing an application, when you go, let's say you hypothetically go to a developer and you say, I want an application to do X, Y, and Z. One of the first questions they will say is, okay, well, where will you run it, right? Because that's a critical question. Depending on where you will run it, he will develop it differently. Is it on the mobile? Is it on cloud? Is it on premise? Is it internal? Is it external facing, right? By making it hybrid, you take that question away. You say, no, focus on the function. Focus on the value, irrelevant where it will live, right? And that's where the value of hybrid comes. So when we look at on-premise, especially in banking sector where you want things on-premise and not on cloud, we have pre-engineered systems like Fusion system that is tailored for AI workloads, right? So you have your on-premise as well as your hybrid cloud and mobile, right? The next level is to bring all your data and interconnect it into a mesh, right, into a net. So we always talk about data is siloed, people are not sharing data, marketing has their data and transactional data is over here. But how can we connect them without moving the data, okay? Virtually connecting the data so you have a holistic view of everything that you have. When you have a customer, you want to see all their data, all their transactions in one view, right? That layer brings all that together, right? The next layer then comes where you bring your AI models and AI tools, right? And you start looking at that data. What is that data telling you? Where is that person going to do next, right? Will they purchase? Will they, do whatever, right? Are they getting salary increases at a particular time? Can you predict where they will be in 5 years' time, right? This is another aspect of it. Next, you look at the SDKs. This is the application connections, okay? This is extremely important. And this is why I always say this is not a technical discussion. This is a value discussion. Because when you talk about APIs connecting applications, right? You don't want to launch an AI system within your organization. Let's say your finance department launches an AI system. Your finance people have their normal tools, right? You don't want them to click away from their tools and go to the AI applications and do something and then come back. Similar to writing an email with ChatGPT. I leave Outlook, I run over to ChatGPT, I compose my email, then I have to cut and paste it and bring it over here. It's not a big deal now, but it is an extreme inconvenience. Why can't that AI be built into the applications that they use currently, right? So the financial systems that you've invested in, right, that your organization is running, they should be AI enabled. And that layer allows you to do that, okay? And the cherry on top is the AI assistant. Now, wouldn't it be great if each individual in your organization, just like I did with the avatar, had the capability to go and build their own AI system, their own AI application? Because who would know better what help I need right? How I can be more productive than me, right? So if you give me the tools to be able to build an AI assistant, right, sitting on an integration where it can integrate into my applications, right? And it's interconnected with my models, right? And it's sitting on the overall enterprise data, but controlled, governed, secured, so I don't access things that I shouldn't be accessing, right? And if I'm sitting on my laptop or if I'm on my mobile, this agent will work, okay? This is the logic of why we built what we call the watsonx stack, okay? Now let's look at it in a realistic term. So today we have databases, right, where we transact and things get written to a database. We also have data storage, where we keep records like copies of passports and so on, right? Then we look at data integration, how we have different siloed systems, and sometimes we bring these data together, right? And then also the application integration. Then the next layer is to see what kind of intelligence can we get from the transactional and the data that we have, right? So my passport is from a certain country, I'm doing a lot of transactions. Is there a correlation or is there completely something different? I'm from the US, my wife is German. Most of my transactions are, through here in Germany, right? So does my bank know about this? Do they understand where the logic is, right? Then building the data models to help build applications against what my data is saying, right? And then the last part is workflows. So you build intelligent workflows so that when somebody applies for a loan, based on their behavior, based on the best transactions, based on everything, the workflows consider these things, okay, to make it more efficient. If you already have a lot of my documents, why would I have to provide documents again, or why would you even ask that question, okay? And then we get into the AI tools. This is where the avatars and the funny things come in, where you can, based on this, build something that can make you productive and impactful, right? And of course, compliance framework. If you give this tool to your employees, to your organization, right, you want to make sure there's a level of control of your organizational compliance, of your industry regulations, of your country regulations. That compliance has to be there. So now people can play, but within guardrailed, safe areas, okay? And lastly, we have our Agentic AI Builder. This is a tool builder that sits on top that allows each individual to build their AI application, right? What that does also is it enables every person in your organization to become a subject matter expert on something that they didn't know about before, okay? One example I'll give you, I have a team. I hire a lot of people, I interview and so on. And when I hire them, I have to onboard them and go through that whole process of interviews and salary approvals and so on. I don't do this every day. And I don't even do it every month. I do it, every 6 months, every 7 months. And I forget the process. You cannot imagine how much time I waste by saying, okay, I need a new employee. Let me go get the CVs. Let me talk to the recruiters. Where do I get the salary ranges? Whose approvals do I need? I have to reinvent this process every single time, right? Now, if you translate this into your organization, people that do repetitive jobs, fine. But those people that take care of unique customer requests, every time they're trying to figure this out. These agents make them an expert in that area because, like the avatar explaining what my presentation should focus on, instead of me memorizing that statement, the avatar is giving it to me, okay? And of course, governance, data governance, and AI governance through and through, okay? So this is extremely, extremely important, especially for this audience, that the safety is extremely important, okay? And then the last point is, let's say I'm a customer representative and I build an AI agent to monitor my high-value clients. And suddenly I see one of my top 5 high-value clients who is showing behavior as if they're going to churn. They're leaving, right? So I print out this report and I run to the CEO's office and I say, this customer, he's about to churn, right? And of course he's very concerned, and the first question he's gonna ask is, how do you know? Based on what? Right? I can't say my AI assistant told me, right? So the value of data lineage to explain exactly under which logic this outcome came is extremely important. And this is a subject of hallucination that today a lot of people are talking about. When you build AI systems, they do tend to hallucinate, so you don't know what is fact and what is fiction, right? Within your enterprise, you need to have full clarity of where this logic is coming from and based on which data, okay? And if there are certain rules that are not aligned properly, those need to be adjusted, okay? Now, we've all heard of the statement, data is sticky, right? What does that mean? Data is sticky because, for example, I opened a Google account, Gmail account in 92 or something, I don't know when they first opened, right? And I'm still with that account. Why? Because a lot of my emails are there, a lot of my other applications are there, and so on. I would love to move to other systems. I have no loyalty to Google. However, because my data is there, it's sticky. I'm stuck, right? But in the age of AI, I want to introduce a new term called AI has gravity, okay? AI tends to pull. What does that mean? That means that if I'm going to a bank, right, for a loan, the bank that gives me the most insightful, the most valuable, the fastest, and most accurate quote is going to get my business. Completely logical, right? So this is where AI can help you attract not only partners, customers, and value, right? But within even your systems, right? If you launch, you know, we've been around. Every one of our organizations has launched employee transformation, you know, enabling people, educating people, annual kickoffs, and so on. Yes, it makes an impact, but it doesn't make a transformational impact. However, when you build something that people see valuable and they can get productive use of, they tend to go to it. They tend to have gravity, okay? And that's what I want to make sure that you walk away with today, all right? The next point is about trust and governance, right? So you've seen a lot of these news articles. Banks are one of the most exposed organizations. You know, a lot of the disasters are not related to AI, they're related to crypto and fraud and so on. But the point is that governance and security is extremely, extremely important to risk management. Now, especially to AI, right? If one of your employees builds something for customers and that AI misbehaves, what risk are you exposed to, right? According to GlobalScape surveys, I don't know if you can see it behind the podium, but every risk incident that happens has a value of $5.8 million loss. $5.8 million loss. That's in financial terms and in terms of trademark, in terms of the value of your organization, okay? So imagine that. Every single incident, $5.8 million average, okay? So how do we deal with this, right? Within MIA, Middle East region, we've done a survey. Within IBM, we have a division called the Institute for Business Value, whose sole job is to go talk to CEOs and get their view of the next 5 years, right? And some of the data that I'm going to show you comes from that survey. So these are all senior CEO across industry, but specifically finance also. Okay, 82% of the people in this region say that they will buy from trusted brands. Okay. So it's not about, you know, having the biggest logo and the biggest assets and the biggest marketing campaigns and so on. It's about trust. Who do they trust? And especially with finance, right? If it's my telco, okay, you know, no problem, I can change it. But finance is extremely important, okay? Now, what bank and finance CEOs need to know, again, based on this survey, this is coming from the survey, we found that, you know, a couple of years ago, there was this disruptors theme, like these small little players were coming and disrupting the enterprise, the large organization, the traditional businesses, right? Now it's the age of what we call disruptors of the disruptors, okay? And you are the disruptors of the disruptors. I'll explain why. Our survey has found that CEOs need to know that the future of innovation, AI, productivity lies in three things: platform, data, and governance, okay? 55% of CEOs have said that within the next 2 years, they will release AI-based platforms, okay? What does that mean? Remember, before I gave you the example that if, depending on what you want to do, if you want to write an email, you can go to ChatGPT. If you want to build an avatar, there's another application for that. If you want to create an image of a funny, puppy jumping over something, you go to another application. This very specific, right, functional applications within the enterprise does not work, right? So the enterprise has the power to bring in a platform that those individuals cannot. And that's why initially the phase of the disruptors came, where all your employees, I'm sure, were like going offline to ChatGPT, and you were yelling at them saying, stop using ChatGPT on work computers, right? But now, if you give them something like a Ask HR, I'll use GBM as an example, Ask GBM. Instead of going to ChatGPT, that whole functionality could be within Ask GBM, right? Bank Oman, Ask Bank Oman. Your clients and your internal employees should be able to do whatever they want to do, similar to ChatGPT, but within guardrailed, controlled areas, right? The disruptors cannot compete with you, all right? You're disrupting the disruptors. Second, data. Obviously, in the realm of AI, data becomes extremely, extremely important, okay? 42% of CEOs say that not having the data is a barrier to success, okay? So 42% of them say it's not about, not starting with AI, but we cannot be successful with AI, right? And who has data? Those disruptors or the banks, right? You have a lot of data. We talked about KYC before. The realm of KYC that you have within your customers is quite vast. You have that data. And third, governance, of course, is a top concern. Bias, right? Hallucinations, etc. And as I explained before, when you have the applications, when you have the data, when you have the right platform, end to end, you have the ability to govern. Those disruptors, those individuals, cannot govern, right? And if you have something running on your internal premises, if you have something running on individual PCs, if you have something running on cloud, all governed holistically. This is extremely important, okay? I think one more slide and then we'll get through it. But what do finance leaders need to do? The previous slide was, what do they need to know? What do they need to do? There's 5 areas that we recommend, again, based on the survey results, 5 areas that we recommend you focus on. Number 1, adjust your business models. In the age of AI, in this age, giving people lower rates, opening more branches, getting more customers is not a measurement of success anymore, right? Of course, it helps, right? But you need to move your data model, your business model, to enable and actually go with clients on what they need, right? That extreme intelligence that they want, that efficiency that they want, the accuracy that they want, okay? One example I give is, why can't my bank have a simulation? I have some cash sitting on multiple accounts. Why can't there be a simple simulation that says, if you distribute this against these types of investment tools, this is the return that you would have gotten for 6 months. And very clearly said, simulation. If I see that, I will immediately move my money. Why would it sit in my bank account? I would immediately move it to the investment tools, okay? Second point is drive operational efficiency, okay? So often as an enterprise, we look at organizations and we say, how do we drive efficiency? Let's reduce headcount. Let's look at transforming certain departments. But here, let's look at individuals. As I said, give the individuals the tools to make themselves efficient, right? So instead of the big bang approach of hitting a department, by giving micro efficiency across your whole organization's efficiency improves, okay? And even further, give this efficiency to customer interactions, right? So when I apply for a loan, what does that process take me? How long does it take me? Where are the efficiencies that we could fix it there, right? Next is renew your risk management culture. So risk management is usually managed by a department looking at purely financial risk, right? But now, AI risk, right? It should be exposed to everything internal and external. But further, why don't you take your AI risk monitoring tools and point it internally to say, what behaviors do we have internally that exposes us to risk? Like the FTX bank that fell apart. If they had seen that their own misbehavior was going to lead to disaster, right? So this is another set. Why can't AI analyze your own risk exposure? Okay? And implementing savvy education programs, right? So there was a phrase that we always talked about saying that people should be lifelong learners, right? Yeah, well, my father used to tell me this like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Well, I'm giving away my age, right? So we all want to be lifelong learners. But today, it is an extremely, extremely important statement. Why? What comes out today in terms of innovation and in terms of AI specifically, right? By December, it may be old. By next year, definitely old, right? So let's say one of your organizations says, I'm going to enable all my people on AI. So you take them offsite, you invite IBM, GBM, and others to come in, and we fully enable you, right? That's it? You're done? Good? In a year's time, that education is old, right? And this is where you need to transform how your organization learns. They need to be lifelong learners. You need to look at how do you expose the organization to continuous learning, partnering with organizations like us for us to come in and speak with you. What is the latest trends? What's happening every 6 months, right? To do this continuously. That's extremely important, okay? And the last one is lead with AI, okay? Now, let me explain this phrase. We always talked about innovation with AI, right? Innovation has always been around, but now let's innovate with AI. Good statement, right? But think of the meaning, innovate with AI, right? So you're innovating, and you're going to do it with AI. Change that phrase to innovate based on AI. It flips it around. So let's look at what the capabilities of AI gives us. Now let's look at how we can innovate, right? When you're launching a new product, look at how AI will impact that product before launching it and then saying, how do we push it out with AI? How do we capture more customers with AI, right? How do we start with AI and work backwards, all right? The last thing, some of you, I'm sorry if you know me, I always close with this quote because it's one of my all-time favorite quotes. So on April 23, 1910, 115 years ago, a year before IBM was born, right? Teddy Roosevelt, this is our president at the time. You know, the teddy bear was named after him. Teddy Roosevelt said this statement. I'll read it for you real quickly. It says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is in the arena." He was a big sports fan. And here he's talking about boxing match, okay? So imagine, if two people are in a ring in boxing, right? There's hundreds of, sometimes thousands of people around the ring, and everybody's screaming and cheering and yelling. And what are they yelling? They're yelling instructions. You know, give them a right, give them a left, duck, you know. But the only people that know their capabilities, that know their situation, that they know what to do to win, are the two people in the ring, okay? So my statement here is that today you are those people in the ring, okay? All those agentic AIs and the data and everything that I talked about, it all goes back to you, right? Where is the productivity that you can introduce, right? Where is the enablement that you can bring within your organization? Who are your disruptors that you need to disrupt, right? All those comments come back to you. We are here to support you, always, right? But we need to work with you to make it unique to you, okay? And as a last giveaway, my gift to you guys today, our senior VPs, Rob Thomas and Paul Zakopoulos and Kate Soul, they recently published this book called The AI Value Creators, which talks about global trends, best practices, okay, and how to get best value of enterprise AI. And if you scan this code, we'd love to give you a free version of the ebook to go through, and if you ever want to discuss the ebook, call me. I'd love to come in and have a chat with you. Okay? Thank you very much.
Once again, Ken, for this insightful presentation that we had. And it's about time to go into the panel discussion. Just before that, we do want to take your attention towards an event that is going to happen related to digital transformation, and that is UMS Events are proud to present the 5th edition of OER Live DX, which will spotlight the role of technology in national progress. And Oman is accelerating forward in digital transformation. Yes, so we need to keep up to date with the new regulations that shape the future of this country. And this event does dive into the new trends powering the Sultanate of Oman's economic vision. So we would like to welcome you all to the 25th of June event, which is the OER Live DX. And thank you to the amazing team from UMS and all the partners and sponsors who will make this event possible. It's about time to go into the panel discussion. And as you see, the setup is happening for the panel discussion. It will be related to the future of banking, navigating disruption, sustainability, customer-centric innovation, and also payments. We'll be looking into the dynamic challenges and opportunities shaping the financial services landscape. And today we will be joined, of course, by a powerful panel of thought leaders and innovators and people who rank high in their different management ladder. And they will be putting in their admin expertise as well. They will be actively shaping with all of you today the next chapter of banking in Oman and beyond. We have an amazing set of panelists that we would like to bring on the stage. To start off, our first one will be Mrs. Manahil Jafar, who's the acting general manager at Mala'a. So if you could please join us here on the stage, Mrs. Manahil Jafar. We would like to welcome you. We would also welcome Mr. Ali Al-Lawati, who is the country head for Cisco in Oman and Yemen. Welcome to the stage. Also, Dr. Haidar Al-Lawati, who is the head of artificial intelligence at Oman Data Park. And Mr. Hussein Al-Maymani, sales director at GBM Oman. Welcome to the stage. We also have Mr. Ali Al-Jabri, who is the AGM Payment Systems at the Central Bank of Oman, joining us here. And we have Mr. Mujahid Az-Zajjali, General Manager IT at Bank Nizwa. Okay, there we go. I believe we have our panelists in. And for that, I'll be leaving the stage to our moderator for this session, who is Dr. Aju Samuel, who brings in 25 years of experience in advising governments when it comes to fintechs and other technical and financial solutions. To welcome to the stage, Dr. Aju Samuel.
Thank you. It's the second year in a row that I've had the privilege of being invited to moderate this panel. They always say the first time the organizers get it wrong, the second time they might get it lucky. But I think, after watching the GBM presentation, I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we'll have some agentic AI probably moderating this panel going in the future. Your Excellencies, dignitaries, CEOs, friends across the financial ecosystem, and everybody who's present here, I think it's a privilege for us to be discussing a few interesting topics in this panel. And I have members here, some of them who have been members of the panel last year as well. I'm going to start off by taking some inspiration from the messages we heard this morning, particularly from His Excellency when he spoke about dream being the only limitation, and within that, doubting yourselves. And of course, how do we adapt to the ever-changing landscape to ensure that we have an innovation and sustainable financial ecosystem. As I take my position, I also take my opportunity to welcome each of you into the panel, and we'll try and have a very fruitful discussion as we go forward. Thank you. I'm going to start with the Central Bank of Oman, Ali Al-Jabri. Yeah, and I'm going to kick off directly from where the governor left in his keynote speech. How do you see the digital payment adoption and general tech-driven financial service penetration in Oman progressing? And how much more white space exists for new players like fintechs within that payment landscape?
Thank you, Doctor. In line with His Excellency has mentioned, there's a lot of changes happening in the digital banking payments, Since we started our payment system journey in 2003, we have put, a lot of infrastructures that support, digital payments and, digital banking. So we notice a lot of, adoption of digital payments and reduction in terms of like, ATM transactions, and as well as, checks also declining. So primarily I can see, the adoption of the instant payments, it's increasing, I think from 2023 to 2024, almost, 300% increase in terms of volume and values. And as well as also there's, we have, almost, our total population is 5.4 billion, and we have active cards in force is more than 4 million cards of prepaid and debit cards and, credit cards as well. We notice also there is, the fintechs, payment service providers are playing a role, trying, to step in the market, and we feel there is, trying to compete as well with the banks. However, I think they should be, work together with the banks in terms of the adoptions. There are a lot of areas that can be filled, for example, buy now, pay later, micro-lending, microfinancing, and as well as, supporting SMEs. We notice that some segment of SMEs are still untapped with the payment services. So we think that the fintechs should play a role in this area, where the banks focus on their core banking solutions and their core banking services.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ali, for giving that landscape from a regulator perspective. And we noticed even in the presentation that we heard 86% of all payments were digital payments during Ramadan. Every time somebody taps their card on a device, all of that information is coming to you and within your infrastructure, Ms. Manal. So my next question is to you. How is Mala capitalizing on the data that's flowing through? And how is it using that data to transform the credit ecosystem in Oman and, incorporate that into alternative, kind of data integration models?
Thank you for this opportunity. Talking about the data bank we have, Mala not only is a credit bureau, we have, like you rightfully said, we don't have all the payment data, but we have all the credit information and financial information from the entire banking sector, from the SME funds. We also have information from the FLCs. We've grown to have information from PSPs and money exchange companies, Credit Oman now. We're growing to, our platform is growing to have data from over 60 different entities. With this growth of, with this wealth of data that we have, Mala is moving towards giving opportunities to the banking sector by providing strategic tools to make enhanced decisions. As of today, we provide the basic credit assessment tools, which are the credit reports and credit score. Moving forward, Mala is working on benchmarking tools. We're using AI and machine learning to provide a dashboard, which will allow the banks to use this data to make more strategic decisions.
Thank you. That's fantastic. I mean, and what it has done to the entire financial ecosystem in Oman, the Credit Bureau, it's opened up the capability for a lot more people to be able to access credit now as the outcome of that. And I want to take my next question to Dr. Haider at Oman Data Park. Suddenly in the last 5 to 7 years, we've got a huge barrage of data that we have. Obviously, organizations are now trying to think about how do we manage this data? Where do we kind of store them and place them? And how do we analyze them? I just want to kind of get into your thought process in terms of how is ODP kind of helping organizations organize that data, analyze that data, and where is the AI models coming in from an Oman Data Park perspective to empower your clients to leverage on that data?
All right, very great question. First of all, assalamu alaikum, good morning everyone. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here. Let's split your question into two parts. One is related to infrastructure. The other comes to the AI as a software or like enablement layer. When it comes to infrastructure, that is the bread and butter of Oman Data Park. And over the last year or so, we've been working very closely with our partners, in the banking sector especially, to build them a new business model where they can save on their total cost of ownership by migrating to cloud. So this is like, maybe one of my colleagues here mentioned this last year on the same forum last year. It's good to remind everybody, Oman Data Park provides what we call it 5-year TCO, where we sit with our customers, go through their requirements, get all the input from them, and over the 5 years, the next 5 years, how can we help them reduce their total cost of ownership when it comes to infrastructure, right? And we've built these infrastructure enablement, and lots of customers, or some good number of customers, have seen the value, and they decided to move to cloud or to come to be hosted in RDP, where we can provide them sufficient amount of storage, servers, whatever they want to carry out their normal daily business services. So that is when it comes to the infrastructure. One more point, talking about infrastructure related to AI, we are observing and anticipating a very big demand on AI for the next few months, maybe a year, and it will continue growing. So I can confidently say that for the next 12 months or so, less than 12 months, Oman Data Park will more than 10x its GPU capacity in our data centers.
Fantastic. So either you're giving us the confidence that whoever wants to explore in the field of AI, through Oman Data Park, we have the infrastructure set up.
Exactly. So we are, and this number can grow based on the demand. We are not saying, okay, this is the number and we'll not do more. We are happy. We are building new data centers to cater for these new demands. When it comes to the AI enablement part, analytics, now there are two ways. One of them is to use ready-made things that are available on public cloud, which is not possible for the banking and the financial sector due to some governance mandates. However, there are lots of alternatives that are open source. And given that you have the infrastructure and the AI capabilities, and we have a very strong and comprehensive network of partners, global partners, also local partners, with expertise in various AI domains and verticals, we can present them with suitable AI solution that can be hosted on-prem or in our data center, where they can be confident that all the data are hosted locally. It is very important to realize that these data analytics and AI solutions are not one size fits all. It is very customized to customers' needs. Some banks, for example, might be focused on a specific business domain, while others are more focused on another. Hence, their analytics tool, in essence, and the framework is the same, but the details and the data that they have are different. So that customization will result in two distinct kind of solutions and approaches.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Haider. I want to bring in Ali Al-Lawati from Cisco. You've been a significant player in the Omani market in terms of technology, infrastructure provider, and supporting the financial ecosystem here. And so my question to you is, with Omani banks really accelerating their digital transformation journeys and, of course, exploring AI within their operations, what are the areas that Cisco is working on to enable that transition to those solutions? And how do you kind of measure the key metrics that determine success towards some of those solutions?
First of all, Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Thank you very much for hosting us here. So we have two parts of the question. Thanks for asking, and I'll address it accordingly.
Sure.
The first one on artificial intelligence itself and how Cisco is taking it forward. So Cisco has two strategies for the AI transformation. We need to clean our house before going out, isn't it? So one is AI on Cisco. So today, if not all, most of our solutions are infused with AI technologies and solutions, whether it is from networking, security, collaboration, etc. And we have already AI agents for our customers who they are running and operating the infrastructure. So if there's any issue in troubleshooting or proactive maintenance, preventive maintenance, we just natively ask the AI agent, where is my problem today in one of the PCs of His Excellency, for example? And the AI model will tell him, yes, there's a slowness, probably in the speed of the network going there. And the issue is not the network, by the way. The issue is in the application. And the things which takes probably hours or days, now with these AI-driven technologies can be solved, if not in seconds, in minutes. So that is AI on Cisco. Now, Cisco on AI, we offer today comprehensive full-stack solutions. I think the collaboration with our Monte Park, with our GBM partners. So we have simplified the way we offer the infrastructure to organizations. We created pods, ready-made pods. Just you go when you buy from any kind of supermarket, you want a ready-made, let's say, food with chicken masala or whatever, you have the rice and everything. So we have made one pod where you have all the infrastructure. You have the server, storage, ready-made available, certified and tested with big names like NVIDIA, like AMDs, like Red Hats. And we categorize them from small, medium to large, depending on the application. So if you have large LLM applications, you have data modeling, inferencing, you select the correct pod you want for your requirement without scratching your heads what I need to buy. This is one. Number two, we have AI Factory. So what we realized, selling on infrastructure doesn't help if the customers need to define their use cases. So we have a team, we can help the customers to do the roadmaps, the AI roadmap for 3 to 5 years, depending on the priority and timeline, and what are the use cases they need as they grow. And this is, to be honest, we found in the market is lacking a lot, because when we go to the customers, they don't have that AI roadmap, most of them, and some of them are developing it and need the help. So that's why we created that team to be in that area. And it's very evident Cisco's contribution in AI in the region. So in the last 3 weeks, there was a big announcement in Saudi Arabia with the AI collaboration Human. We are building or contributing in building the nation AI infrastructure for Saudi. Also in UAE, with G42, we are part of the AI nation infrastructure development. And also in Qatar, we are closely working with Ministry of Information. Now the metrics, sorry, it took a very long time. No problem. The metrics is, number one, is operational efficiency. It's not about the infrastructure, also the processes. The second one is customer experience, because all the AI, how they will deliver personalized customer experience, and people talk about it already. The third one is risk management, how you do fraud detection, how you protect yourself from financial crimes. And finally, and importantly, is innovation velocity, how you bring the AI into your products and services as fast as others. Thank you.
Fantastic. So if you were looking for some key KPIs, I think we got 4 of them. Operational efficiencies, customer experience, risk management, and the velocity of innovation. Thank you, Ali. So I'm going to take that to GBM. We heard in the previous message about the fact that what is applicable today, or as we settle into something today, within 6 months or within a year, the entire thing changes, and therefore that's a challenge for organizations. So my question is, how does GBM empowering financial institutions to manage a sustainable technology infrastructure, especially keeping these changes in such quick time?
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. So I'll address the challenges part first. What we've noticed in the market, and we've categorized the challenges into 3 areas. The first challenge that we're trying to address is the heavily convergence of technology. So today, as you've seen in Ken's presentation, technology is converging massively. AI meets cybersecurity. Quantum computing raises new risks. APIs and AI. Technology is converging, so we're having conversations that is cutting across multiple areas. And the way we're trying to address that is having a more holistic approach to the architecture, to the landscape of various banks, and bringing in the right resources to have these conversations and bring the right SMEs for that. The second category of challenges that we're facing is the cost adoption versus cost in action. So you'll be surprised, but the cost in action is far greater than the cost of adoption of these technologies.
I agree.
You're not up to date with your security practices. You cannot innovate as good. You are slower to market. So it leaves you behind. So this is the second category that we're trying to work around with. And we do that by early engagements where we bring in also experts that help build the ROIs. We look at the use cases of these applications and we start the journey early. That's the second category of challenges that we're trying to address. The third category is more of a cultural challenge where there's a resistance to change. You know, the notion of if it's working fine, why should I fix it? And thankfully and very fortunately is that this change is also being driven from the leadership. We've all seen from His Excellency's speech where he highlights key technology transformation. A lot of the CEOs today, they're talking the language of technology. A lot of even the board members, they're very much aware of what's going on. So this is being driven from top down. So it's helping a lot. And these are the three main areas that we're trying to address in terms of the challenges that we're facing.
Fantastic. And I like the term cost in action, because that really is an enablement of how organizations should view it. I think a whole lot of the conversations we've had till now is definitely impactful to everybody here in the audience as bankers or as players in the ecosystem. But I think at the same time, we are all customers as well. And Mujahid, you're here representing the end stage of this entire journey. So everything that happens here, ultimately has to be felt by the customer who's interacting with the bank. So my question to you is, how are you leveraging as a bank all of this entire technology architecture and AI first initiative? And what difference is it going to make to a consumer who is interacting with his financial partner on a daily basis?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the question. For us, the banking sector, we are moving from the monolithic infrastructure to a micro-based services, which basically makes it easy for us to deliver the technology, which is having an innovative and a cutting edge and secured solutions. Now, what happens with the AI, integrating AI in these kind of technologies, it makes us easy to deliver the requirements and to enhance our customer experience. Now, what happens is, now there are different varieties of AI solutions. With the digital transformation journey, cyber attacks are increasing. So of course, we do understand that AI is a must. It's not a discussion now. It is a must to go and implement. But then what's happening is you are even seeing the generative AI and agentic AI, which are also coming into action. Now, with regards to generative AI and the agentic AI, I think this is an advanced level of discussion which is going to happen with the technology providers or the service providers. But yes, we do implement AI-based solutions which can make customer experience and convenience and the total journey of the customer easy, secure, and simpler.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think when customers really start feeling it is when the real impact will be on the ground. We're going to start off with the second round of conversations with the panel. Meanwhile, I'm told that there is a QR code that will appear on top that enables you to probably throw in some of your own questions as well. So after I run through the second round, if you do have some questions, do scan the QR code and drop in your question, and then we'll take them after this round. I go back to the central bank, Ali, if I may. Again, another point that was really, really very well articulated in His Excellency's speech was about open banking. Right? And my question is, as Oman is now coming out with both open banking and digital banking regulations, how is the central bank kind of bringing across the regulatory framework that enables third-party payment service providers to access these bank payment systems? And what standards are you trying to establish so that they're secure?
Thank you, Doctor. I think His Excellency has, put the good news that open banking, framework, and digital banks, framework also will be, launched very, very shortly. And in line with that, in terms of payment to the access to our infrastructures, we're trying to make our payment system open for banks and non-banks and fintechs as well. So we started working in terms of enhancing our, ACH system, automated clearing house, where fintechs can be part of this, entire ecosystem, and fire transactions like payment initiation. So they will play a role as a payment initiator for transactions between two parties. And also for our instant payment system, we are upgrading the system, and we're trying that BSPs and fintechs to access, allowing their customers to access, their accounts within the banks without, having, what they call direct relations with the banks. For example, a customer having, account with the bank, and also at the same time having, a wallet with a BSP. What we're trying to add here, that the customer can add his bank account in the wallet of the BSP or the fintech. So it's part of open banking and open payments. We call it open payments. So we put some standards and, like an APIs to be connected together, which allow customers, to make transactions openly from any apps which is licensed, from Central Bank of Oman. So at the same time, that the customer will be able to do transaction B2B, to do QR code payments, and to do even account-to-account transfers. So means we make our infrastructures open payments for everyone. So this is what we are trying to do. In terms of standards, what we are using, Central Bank as part of open banking framework, they publish, the open, the APIs that should be adopted by the financial sector, means the banks and BSPs. So in line with that, so it should make very easy for the entire ecosystem to integrate together to make this what they call open payments. And other standards what we are using is ISO 20022, which is the open framework for financial transaction messaging, which is can be integrated from any systems without any need a lot of developments, which makes transactions to be processed seamlessly and smoothly.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ali. And we look forward to those frameworks being operationalized. And when executed, obviously that's going to really add so much value to the consumers. And therefore, my question to you, Ms. Manal, is, as all of that new frameworks and regulations get into take place, what tools are we developing so that Omani citizens can have more transparency over their credit information? And can we now, because of all of that information, have more access to underbanked and unbanked populations?
Okay, thank you for that question. If I take it from where Central Bank was in terms of open banking and digital banking, Malaha is now, with the direction of the Central Bank, ready with the eKYC solution. So we're very capable of digitally onboarding all customers. We've also included with that the AML solution, which creates a great platform for digital onboarding for the open banking and digital banking. Now I come to your question about looking at how Malaha is preparing for the other customers and especially the underbanked. We recently launched the salary information service. It's in POC stage with several of the banks. Malaha is also looking at developing an SME score. This also includes the micro, so it's an MSME score. With that, let me give you an example of how we perceive that we're going to reach out to the segment. If we look at the retired people, we've already connected with the telco, telecommunication companies. We have that as alternative data. We have connected with over 8 government entities to provide alternative data. So, for a retired person who has no credit history, he will have his telecommunication data. he will have his pension information, and he will have his benefits. Okay, that will create a good platform for any creditor to give him some credit or assess him. We're also looking at disabled people. Okay, a disabled person may have a phone number, right? They will have, so they'll have a telco history. We capture now the benefits, so we will capture his benefits. That will make him an eligible person to approach a bank and say, you know what, this is what I have. Based on this, you know, you may be able to give me credit, and if he performs well, maybe they can increase the credit.
Right, right.
Okay, and similarly we're talking about SMEs. We're looking at working with the tax authority to collect the financial data. However, we know that most SMEs don't have financial data. Okay, we're looking at information about the shareholders. We're looking at information about number of employees. We're looking at how the SMEs are actually paying the salaries, if they're capable.
Right.
So alternative data to support all of this and, you know, create a profile on the SME to possibly give them credit.
Fantastic. Again, I think all of that is going to lead to so much of a revolution. We're just running our last round of questions here. You know, while all of those developments are happening and we're going to see a lot of impact on the consumer side, let's look internally a little bit, Dr. Haider, if I may. Talent, right? Everybody spoke about, you know, with all of this, we need a lot of experienced people. We need a lot more talented people. We also need to ensure that our existing people are reskilled towards the new areas of technology. What are the initiatives that ODP is taking, both internally as well as for your clients, to ensure that you bridge that talent gap?
All right. So the talent in AI is, I think, a global challenge because there are not sufficient number of talented AI experts that can deliver the, you know, service and the values that customers, companies, vendors are looking for, generally speaking. And one of the, when it comes to Oman, one of the problems or the challenges that universities did not have these AI programs earlier. And now the good news is that they are already started building this in their curriculum. But it is also important for them to make this curriculum very comprehensive and demanding from students. It's not about I've taught them AI and I made them aware about it, but they have to go beyond what is in the classroom and attend maybe hackathons, go beyond what is in the, you know, the development in the classes, do some internships with the companies. So in Oman Data Park, we established the AI department, and we've been recruiting. So soon the number of people will go from 1, which is today, I'm the only one, to 7 people in a couple of months. And this is the beginning for the growth of the AI department because we see the demand and the need in the market. I think there's no one answer how to grow these talents, but it's a mixture of different factors. Working on real solutions, trusting them. Sometimes industries, they would go and grab a person who has worked on some problems, a certain problem for a few years and said, okay, you've done it, you have experience, come and do it. But if they look at a fresh graduate, they might not trust their abilities. Blending those fresh graduates with some experts and giving the chance to the local people and the local companies to take the chance to step up and deliver something and give them the trust. We were not going to learn if we don't try, sometimes fail, make mistakes, and then deliver the value eventually. We will not be able to build our own in-house local talents if we don't trust them, empower them, allow them to make mistakes, some reasonable amount of mistakes. Otherwise, we will always go and grab somebody from outside to do it and then pay double, triple, and then they go back. And we will not get the value here. I think that is the main challenge we would like to address here.
Thank you, Dr. Haider. I think you make very valuable points there. Ali, if I can just now come back to you mentioned in your first statement about how Cisco is helping countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar with their national AI programs, and we heard of those announcements as well. As much as they're doing all of those, they do have a talent challenge as well. And I just wanted to know if Oman were to kind of enter that league of a national AI kind of infrastructure, what would you suggest that we as a country do to be able to bridge both the infrastructure gap as well as the talent gap?
This was not in the list. Right. So we have a gap in the infrastructure and the talent.
Yeah.
So I think is a responsibility, accountability of everybody.
Right.
Yeah, whether we are vendors, we are customers, we are partners, and etc. Now, collectively, we need to come up together to see how we can solve it. I mean, Dr. Haider said some of the points. So we as a vendor, from our perspective, we can offer the education and training. We can offer the consultancy on this. And we can offer the infrastructure. But needs to be a willingness from all the parties.
True.
The problem is today, which I see in the market, everybody talks about AI, sorry to say, but there is no real seriousness on defining the use cases and not only defining, investing. So when it comes to the investment, because the problem is with the cloud, we cannot go outside of it. Do we have an AI infrastructure cloud locally available? I hope ODP will do. Yeah. Then you're stuck. So if you educate people and there is no deployments, there is no point.
True.
So everybody needs to come together. I think major is, I think the banks are wealthy, hopefully. We know that. They need to really come to us forward, not only as a vendors, but as a partners. What are those use cases they want to do? What is their roadmap? And then the training can be hand in hand to fulfill that. Otherwise, we'll keep talking about it for a long time, and there'll be no any development.
I'm so glad that was not part of the original questions, but glad that I asked you nevertheless, because the audience that can implement is right here. So we look forward to that. Hussain, if I can just come to you, there are some things that banks can invest and will invest in. And there are some areas banks will say, it's better off that we partner with somebody else. And particularly in this case with fintechs. So my question is, as banks are looking to partner with fintechs in Oman, what integration solutions does GBM provide that helps them to seamlessly connect with these fintech startups while maintaining both operational control and risk management?
So when it comes to fintechs, we're working on a number of fronts. And you mentioned the platform. So IBM, as you saw earlier in the presentation, is using a platform, the API, Open Banking, where it helps onboard fintechs rapidly. I'll give you an example with a financial institution that we worked with recently. They had a hackathon, and they wanted the platform where they can onboard the fintechs during that hackathon, safely, securely, and governed. How long do you think it took us to set up the platform to onboard the fintech? And this question back to you. Do you think months?
I want to say a few hours.
Exactly. So it took almost a day or two just to set up the platform.
Okay.
In all its functionalities, and they were able to onboard, and they conducted a very successful hackathon. This is one of the things that we're doing, working along with fintechs. We're doing a lot of awareness, training, and development, working with incubators and in specific fintech startups to try and support them and provide as much guidance as we can, especially during the early stages. And a third area that we're also working on, and this is part of also our ICV, is that we're trying to onboard them as part of our ecosystem when it comes to financial services, whether along with banks or to even other institutions.
Fantastic. Hussain, thanks a lot for that. And we look forward to much more, many more hackathons and many more such innovative ideas coming through from the financial industry. I'll take this final question to Mujahid. Mujahid, again, customer facing. So I'm going to ask you about financial inclusion goals here, which was spoken about by Ms. Manhal as well. As a bank, financial inclusion is a very key component of your agenda. What is Bank Nizwa specifically doing in the field of financial inclusion? And how are you leveraging technology specifically to kind of reach larger audiences in a much lesser time?
I'll quote His Excellency's presentation when he shared numbers on the internet penetration. So I guess 98% of internet penetration is still already there. And then you have 88% of the 4G and 5G coverage. And then mobile penetrators are almost 110%. So, for me, it's hard to understand that there is no financial inclusion in Oman. I think majority of the customers or majority of Omanis, they are holding an account number, especially with the SPF benefits. You have even minors who are holding account numbers. So from that angle, we are really in a good shape. And majority of the banks, they are almost available in every region.
True.
Unless we are talking to people who are really living on the top of the mountains. Sure. But coming to the, yes, not specifically Bank Nizwa, but majority of the banks are offering digital savvy solutions. So that the customer is not coming out from his home and going and visiting the bank and doing transactions which he or she can perform on the app. So majority of the banks are offering services and applications on the app itself or on the internet banking solutions. So a lot of innovative solutions are being introduced for these customers so that especially the ones who are the branches or the banks are far away, maybe let's say 20 or 10 minutes, or it takes time for them to perform a transaction at the branch. And these transactions like digital onboarding, eKYC, transfers from card to card, and mobile payments like Ali was highlighting, all these services are already available in the app for the customers. So from that angle, I think banks are, and even Bank Nizwa is trying from time to time introduce more and more services onto the app and on the digital channels.
All right, I think the question is for Ms. Manail. What upcoming products from Mala that are powered by AI and ML, and how will it benefit the credit industry? I think you may have answered it partly earlier, but if you can just throw some additional light to that question.
Okay, I think this question refers to our products related to data analytics. This is a new stream Mala is looking at. The product that we're working on currently, it's the dashboard. Okay, it's called the benchmarking dashboard. That is powered by AI and machine learning. It's going to be a platform that we'll be offering to our members, which is respectively the banks, okay, where they can benchmark themselves against their peers, against their market. It will give them insights into their NPLs, into their market share, into their performance, product-wise, sector-wise. Right. So that is the first product that we're looking at. We're going to be looking at market reports, market insight reports, and a lot of other data analytics products coming up.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you to everybody on the panel. I think the news is that the infrastructure and the intent is very much there. It's all about adaptation and execution. We'll close the panel with this. Thank you to each one of you for your thoughts, and handing over back to the...
Round of applause to the esteemed panelists for the knowledge that has been shared today. We'll be moving quickly into the awards. We're just clearing off the stage for that. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this engaging panel discussion, which had a lot of insights and ideas that were very interesting. And it's now time to celebrate excellence. And we are delighted to present the Oman Banking and Finance Awards of 2025. The awards will honor innovation, leadership, and their vital role of these institutions specifically that put this forward and that helps shaping Oman Vision 2040. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Oman Banking and Finance Awards have been selected by a following comprehensive survey that has been conducted by Oman Economic Review, OER, and also in partnership with United Securities. And of course, it was independently audited. The evaluation was based on the financial performance of banks and NBFCs across multiple key parameters. And it came to the following conclusion. Institutions with a total assets exceeding 4 billion Omani riyals as the end of 2024 were placed in the large banks category, while them below that threshold were classified in the mid-sized banking category. So it is time for the awards, and it's time for us to all get excited for them. We'll go directly into the award ceremony. So it is with privilege to invite to the stage our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, to present the Oman Banking and Finance Awards. And I would like to invite with him Mr. Atuli Al-Sharma and Mr. Saeed Al-Mashani, Deputy CEO of UMS, to join His Excellency here on the stage. So welcome to the stage, and we start this celebration by fintech pioneers who are not only transforming financial services but also redefining inclusion and innovation across Oman and the wider region. Our first award for this goes to a platform that is revolutionizing traditional saving methods by of course putting in the concept of money circles, known locally, as we know in Arabic, by Jam'iyat, by leveraging the algorithms and operating within the Central Bank of Oman's sandbox. This platform enhances financial solutions and inclusion, supports a cashless society, and narrows the gender gap in savings. So the first FinTech Excellence Awards of 2025 goes to Zumar. The next FinTech Excellence Award goes to Thawani. Of course, Thawani has become a cornerstone of Oman's digital payment landscape, established in 2016, and this platform offers a comprehensive suite of e-payment solutions, including digital wallets, payment gateways, and invoicing services. Well done to Thawani Pay. Congratulations to Thawani, and moving forward to acknowledge a fintech solution that has, of course, ingested the Islamic financing process, and this platform connects Islamic financial institutions with retailers and SMEs, offering instant Sharia-compliant financing solutions and options. And for this one, the third FinTech Excellence Award of 2025 goes to iFin Services. Congratulations to iFin Services on achieving this. Next, we celebrate the empowering startups and SMEs that brought innovation to crowdfunding solutions, specializing in equity and loan-based funding. And this company bridges the gap between entrepreneurs and investors, fostering economic growth and supporting the development of SMEs here in the country. The next award is the FinTech Excellence Award of 2025, which goes to Wadia. Congratulations to Wadia. Congratulations, Wadia, for this. Our last award in this segment goes to the FinTech startup that surpassed significant milestones in Sharia-compliant supply chains of financing. Licensed by the Capital Market Authority, CMA of Oman, the company connects businesses to the short-term trade financing with community of investors, facilitating economic activity and supporting the growth of various enterprises across the Sultanate of Oman. The next one is the FinTech Excellence Award for 2025, which goes to Ma'moon. Congratulations to Ma'moon. move into the next award directly of the financial institution that has seamlessly merged Islamic banking with class-leading technology. And they are user-centric, digital platforms are amazing, and they have strict adherence to Islamic principles. They continue to set the benchmark for Islamic financial excellence in the digital age. And the winner of the Best Digital Islamic Bank of the Year is Bank Nizwa. Congratulations to Bank Nizwa for this achievement. Our next one awards outstanding market performance in the investment sector within the region. And the winner for this one is an investment fund that has cemented its place in regional leaders by delivering constant results and, of course, asset allocation. And they have an expert portfolio of management. And the award of the Best Regional Fund goes to GCC Market Leadership Recognition, of course, goes to United GCC Fund. Congratulations to United GCC Fund for the award of the Best Regional Fund within GCC Market Leadership Recognition. Well done to United GCC Fund. Moving forward, we recognize a company that puts in efforts towards technology, and they're a key driver of the financial services sector in the Sultanate of Oman. This organization has redefined what it means to enable digital transformation, and they put in a lot of effort towards infrastructure, cybersecurity solutions, financial sector alignment, and much more. So the award for digital transformation leader in the financial innovation sector goes to GBM Oman. Congratulations to GBM, and we move on next to smart enablers of financial inclusion with a mission rooted in leveraging data and smarter lending technologies. This organization has become a trusted pillar in the Sultanate of Oman's market, and it moves the work of enabling crucial data to be shared with institutionalized lenders. A very important place, and this award goes, or the award for data-driven lending enablers of the years goes to Mala'a. Congratulations to Mala'a. And then we move on to the next award that came through unwavering support for exporters and businesses. And this institution that will get this award is instrumental in fueling national development and economic diversification. And we had one of the amazing speakers here on stage for that one. The award for leading institutions in driving economic development across the Sultanate of Oman goes to Credit Oman. Well done, Credit Oman, for this achievement. And we'll have to move on and put the spotlight on a bank that has made customer-centric digital banking in the Sultanate of Oman a reality. From seamless onboarding to intelligent digital solutions, they have taken the step and initiative forward. So the Best Digital Transformation Initiative Award in the banking sector goes to Sohar International. Congratulations to Sohar International for making this award. The next award is in recognition of someone who constantly re-images and puts the insurance sector into the modern age here in the Sultanate of Oman. They move in from pioneering digital-first services to embedding innovation across every touch point of their work. This insurer has remained ahead of the curve all the time. So the award for the most innovative insurer of the year goes to Liva Insurance. Congratulations once again to Liva Insurance for having this award. And after Liva Insurance, we would like to move into the automotive section, but not too far from the finance world. In today's fast-paced banking and financial landscape, mobility is very important, and it's one of the means of transport, and it's a statement of purpose, precision, and performance. And we would like to give an award of the SUV of the year 2025, and that is none other than one of the vehicles that we see there at the side of us, that is Shangan CS95. Congratulations, Team Shangan. Well done, Team Shangan. And up next, to honor a financial institution that has raised the bar for digital customer engagement and services. And this is the best digital customer experience in the FLC segment, which goes to Ta'jeer Finance. Congratulations to Ta'jeer Finance. Next, we acknowledge an ICT powerhouse that continues to push the digital frontier in the country by providing state-of-the-art cloud security, artificial intelligence, and also managed services. This company has enabled secure, scalable transformation for Oman's banks and financial institutions. The visionary ICT leader supporting Oman's financial digital transformation for this year is Oman Data Park. Well done to Team Oman Data Park. And our next recognition goes to a bank that has long stood as a pillar of trust and financial empowerment here in the country for its amazing services that align with digital requirements. So the award for excellence in customer-centric financial services goes to Bank Muscat. Congratulations once again to Bank Muscat for this award. And now we turn our attention to an association or an organization that has played a foundational role in the evolution of Oman's banking ecosystem. So the award for leadership in banking sector development goes to Oman Banks Association. Well done, OBA, for this achievement. And the upcoming institution that is championing the future of finance through education and innovation and adding a lot of cutting-edge research industry collaboration, as we have seen in one of their presentations today. And they do also startup incubation. That is none other than the FinTech Innovator of the Year award, and that goes to the College of Banking and Financial Studies. Well done, Team CBFS. Congratulations to CBFS, and the next award honors a CSR initiative which shares a seamless blending of digital innovation with heartfelt generosity. Launched in the holy month of Ramadan, every like adds light, and converted every social media like into a monetary donation, and this was an amazing achievement. So the winner of the Most Innovative CSR Initiative Award is Sohar International, and that is for Every Like Adds Light campaign. And the campaign garnered over 600,000 engagements, mobilizing a nationwide community in a collective act of giving during the holy month of Ramadan. Well done once again, Sohar International. Moving on to recognize strategic masterstrokes in digital transformation, the winning organization that has successfully implemented a holistic digital roadmap for itself, focusing on operational efficiency and customer empowerment, and of course, future readiness. The award for Best Digital Strategy for the year 2025 goes once again to Ta'jeer Finance. A well-deserved award for Ta'jeer Finance, and our next recognition goes to an organization that is advancing inclusivity with the matters of cost access to essential services through impactful partnerships with banks. And the winning organization trains staff to communicate effectively with the hearing-impaired community here in the Sultanate of Oman, making financial services more accessible and inclusive to them. So the award for empowering access through innovation goes to the Omani Association for People with Hearing Impairment and RAB Consulting. Congratulations. Congratulations to the Omani Association for People with Hearing Impairments and the RAB Consulting firm. So our next award recognizes a leading international financial institution that is firmly established into its presence into the Omani market, and it has a commitment to excellence, cross-border expertise, and a portfolio of banking services. And the award for the best international bank in Oman goes to Qatar National Bank. Well done to Team QNB. The next award celebrates a leader whose influences extends beyond technology, and it goes into the fabric of Oman's digital transformation journey. He has a relentless drive towards innovation, a commitment to excellence, and an unwavering focus to national progress here in the country. The technology leader of this year for 2025 is Ali Al-Lawati, country leader of Cisco. Congratulations to Mr. Ali Al-Lawati. This is an outstanding honor for an outstanding leader. The next award recognized the best bank for the mid-sized banks category, and this winning bank has topped the OER United Securities Best Bank survey on different parameters. And the winner of the best bank in the mid-size category is Bank Nizwa. Congratulations once again to Bank Nizwa. And the next award goes to a bank which has shown over time its impressive performance in different surveys conducted. In financial year of 2024, it was the #1 bank on all growth and liquidity-led parameters, and such as growth in gross loan, customer deposits, fee income, operating profit, and more. So the winner of the best bank in growth in the large bank segment is Sohar International. Congratulations once again to Sohar International. And the next award goes to Best Finance and Leasing Company in Oman. And this winning company has emerged as a winner in gross leasing assets, net interest income, operating profit, net worth, and net profit as well. So the winner of the Best Finance and Leasing Company in Oman is once again Ta'jeer Finance. Congratulations to Ta'jeer Finance. Moving on to the best bank in the large banking segment. And the winner is an organization that has put in time again and again and proven consistency and excellence with their financial performance and best practices. And they put in a lot of effort towards sustainability, asset quality, productivity, efficiency, and capital position. The winner of the best bank in the large banks segment is Bank Muscat. Congratulations to Bank Muscat, and we extend our heartfelt congratulations to all the winners today. It is now with pleasure that I invite His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani to kindly join us here on stage to present a token of gratitude to His Excellency Ahmed Al-Msalmi. And after this token of appreciation, we invite all winners on stage for a group photo. So if all winners can start assembling and joining us here on stage for a group photo. We would humbly request His Excellency and our chief guest and Sheikh to stay on stage for the token of appreciation. إذن هذه الهدية التذكارية تقدم لراعي هذا الحفل من الشيخ سالم بن مستهيل المعشني. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, Mr. Atulia Sharma and Mr. Saeed Al-Mashani, for doing the honors and giving out the distribution of awards to our amazing winners. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now break for 20 minutes. So we should be back here at 12:05 to continue with our program, as we have a presentation by Mr. Jawad Al-Zaabi, who is a Senior Business Development Manager at Oman Data Park. So the program is still ongoing. We have a break of 20 minutes and then we will be back. Next round of engaging presentations. Each one will offer deep insights into the ongoing transformation of digital and financial landscapes. And to begin with, we would like to welcome on stage Mr. Jawad Al-Zaabi, Senior Business Development Manager at Oman Data Park. He has over 13 years of experience across telecom, aviation, and IT services, and he brings a rare combination of deep technical know-hows for strategic business insights. So let's welcome on stage Mr. Jawad to share his insights.
Thank you for giving me the stage to talk about monetizing fintechs and banking through cloud innovation. Thanks for you for introducing me. Well, we see here three pillars. We see fintechs, banking, and we see cloud innovation. And those are main three pillars for any new era banking. the current shift of banking sector and financial sector goes into parallel two methods. Firstly is the centralized, and the other one is decentralized. The centralized method is that banks try to be a super platform, one-stop shop for all the financial services. They try to maintain this as a traditional banking. At the same time, they need to increase their revenue. They need to increase their channels of selling. What do? Is that they start selling their services through fintechs, either by having the payments, lending, wealth to be offered as APIs or banking as a service or decentralized financing. But what's happening is that they see other competitors are jumping into this market. They see like even telcos. Nowadays, telcos are selling some of the financial services. When you go and you pay your utility bills through your mobile credit, that's a finance service that's been offered by the telcos. So they start seeing other markets are jumping into the financial services market and sharing this slice of piece of cake. So how can they survive as banks? And how can they utilize having the fintechs to increase their channel of sales? They can do that by aggregating services, embedding fintechs products, and focusing on customer experience. Previously, it was traditional banking, which was concentrating on owning the customer. They are shifting to the open banking, where it's customer-centric. Of course, we can see some of the banks have started adopting digital banking, which is good. We see it here in Oman, which is in between the traditional banking and open banking. But optimally, that the banks will move on from owning the customer to customer-centric, to service-centric, to value-centric. As they move on, they increase their revenue, they increase their market shares. And they cannot do that without utilizing the fintech's products. They cannot achieve it. How to monetize it? They can monetize it by white labeling fintechs, by offering banking as a service, and trying to get sharing model for revenue, either with fintechs, either by transaction-based pricing, or other methods. At the same time, we'll see that in future, fintechs will start taking these services like micro-lending, buy now, pay later, BNPLs, which you just buy now and you can pay whatever you bought later. And I'm not really sure if we have the banks here, if they can, or the fintechs even, if they can offer us, as we are customers, we're greedy and we need more and more. If they can offer us not only buy now, pay later, if they can offer us buy now and pay never, that would be really good. If you can do so, then do it. We're keen to it. Yeah, so fintechs can take the micro-lending, buy now, pay later, robo-advisory, and cross-border payments. So the banks can offload those things to the fintechs. At the same time, they'll be having their own super platform as one-stop shop for the financial services. Can they achieve this without a robust, scalable, and secure digital infrastructure? Of course not. I'll tell you a story. There were two banks competing on launching one of the services and rolling it out to the market, to the customers. The first bank started, let's say Bank 1 and Bank 2. The Bank 1, they ordered the hardware. They got the hardware shipped within 3 months to their data center. They start developing the app. They start deploying it, having UAT, QA, whatever testing environments. Then after that, rolling out to the customers. At that time, they were late by 1 month from the other first bank, Bank 1 or Bank 2. Why? Because Bank 2 went directly to the cloud service provider saying that, okay, we need a ready-made environment that's secure, that's API-driven environment, that can use the containerization and API gateways with zero trust security, with AI-driven and GPU infrastructure. So they got all those things in a minute, and they rolled out their service faster than the first bank. So what happened in the customer mind? The customer said, oh, the other bank copied the first bank. Although they didn't copy it, they start working together on launching those services together. But what happened in the customer mind? They said that, okay, the other bank copied the first bank. Because they were delaying the process where the other bank had this journey shortcut, and they rolled out their services faster. So moving to the cloud will make sure that you're going to win this marathon. Nowadays, time is very crucial. As you get delayed, you'll be launching your services delayed, you'll be losing this entry barrier, you'll be losing this race. So we as ODP will be, we offer you these services faster, and believe me, it is secure, it is scalable, and it is robust. I think that's it for today from my session. Thank you all. And we in ODP tell you, let us lead you into tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Jawad, for your insights. That was Mr. Jawad Zabi, Senior Business Development Manager at Oman Data Park. We will move on to our next presentation, and that is by Mr. Ali Al-Jabri, who's Assistant General Manager of Payment Systems at the Central Bank of Oman, who is getting ready now to come for his presentation. So Mr. Ali brings over 2 decades of experience in payments and financial technology. He has led Oman's payment infrastructure transformation from a 24/7 settlement system to instant payment solutions to cross-border integration and digital payment regulations as well. So we'll be looking to an insightful presentation here. So, Mr. Ali, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today to present Oman National Payment Systems, Infrastructure, Innovation, and Inclusion. I think, during the morning session, His Excellency, the Governor, and other speakers has talked about payments, digital innovations, digital banking, and many things. So I will continue in that piece, inshallah. So I will cover in the presentation today, in this session, our role as central bank in the payment innovation, and we'll, go to the digital payment landscape, and as well as, what's the growth in the payment systems, and mainly we'll focus on the retail payment system, growth, and also what is ongoing initiatives that we are working currently, in the payment system space. So, as a role of central bank, we have many roles here to play: strategic, regulatory, oversight, operational, risk management and inclusion. Since we started, payment system strategy in 2003, we have done a lot of things in terms of infrastructure, in terms of regulations. We have a dedicated law for payment system, which is governing the payment system infrastructure, operations, as well as services. We issue also licensing guidelines for BSBs, fintechs, and also, as we speak in the morning, we're promoting open banking, and API standards. Our infrastructures is now all of payment system operate in 24/7. All payment system now, including RTGS, ACH, instant payment, check clearing, or Oman Net Switch, the card payment system, are all running 24/7. The customers can do transactions between and across the banks, 24/7 basis. Okay, we support, our payment system infrastructure support mobile wallets, QR code, contactless tokenization, and we lead, this strategy of payment system for digital transformations in the country. We also collaborate with, private, public sector, like, banks, fintechs, to encourage payments, and also we collaborate with the government in the adoption of digital payments with Ministry of Finance, as well as we have initiatives since 2021 with the Ministry of Commerce to mandate, digital payments in the country in certain activities. I think majority of you notice that, the digital payments in terms of point of sale has been, increasing since, the last few years. From the operational risk and inclusion, we set cybersecurity standards, how, the banks to protect the systems, how to protect the customer. Also, we take care about financial inclusion. We make sure that these services are, available for all, what they call all segments of the society. Privacy also, it is a concern. It should be also managed very well. We run, public, awareness with the collaboration with the banks, fintechs, PSBs. We do a dedication program with, College of Banking Financial Studies with SQU as well, to educate the, all the segments of the society about, digital payments and financial technology services. We use the data for, monitoring, for decision making. We have a lot of data in the payment system. In the next slides, you will notice, the growth in the payment system. This is Oman digital payment landscape. We have a population almost 5.4 million. The data shows that debit, prepaid, and credit cards in force are more than 4 million cards. The daily card transaction in the country is crossing 2 million transactions per day. And annual mobile payments is crossing 21 billion, in last year, in 2024. The daily mobile payments via, our instant payment platform, reaching almost within this year is, 1 million transactions per day. And internet banking payments, including all the banks, is exceeding, almost 10 billion, as a value of transactions. We notice also that digital payments is expanding, and superseding the cash transactions. So all the digital payments, either from the bank's side or from including the digital, payment system run by central bank, it is almost 85%, and the cash, ATM cash withdrawals is only 15%, which is, that is indication that we are moving towards, cashless society. We, implemented the tokenization. In 2024, we published, the guidelines for the implementation. And, September last year, the bank started launching Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. Now, we noticed that 44% of transactions of point of sale are coming under Apple Pay and Samsung Pay. So the adoption is very high in terms of people utilizing the international wallets like Apple and Samsung. So our strategic direction is to align with the Oman 2040, vision to achieve digital transformation. That's why we have national payment system strategy that support the digital transformation and digital economy. This graph shows that what is the total, values and volumes of transactions processed in the national payment system operated by central bank. If you can notice that, the compound average, growth rate in terms of transactions, it's almost 35%, which we, recorded more than 600 million transactions in 2024. As well as, in the value of transactions, it is a little bit, as well, it's increasing, but not like the volumes. So the growth is almost 10% on a yearly basis. And in 2024, we processed a total, transaction value exceeding 281 billion Riyal Omani in 2024, This is illustrate, how, the retail payments is adoption. We have the ACH, the, automatic clearing house, account-to-account transfer, recurring payments like salaries, payments, dividends. We almost having from 2023 to 2024, more than 40% increase. However, in Oman Net, with the card payment ecosystem, there is also increase more than 30%. The check, adoption in the country is steady. There is no any increase, which is good what I call sign that people and the community now start moving from cash to digital payments, from checks to digital payments. However, our instant payment system is showing there's a lot of boost in the transactions, in terms of, volume of transactions. Our system processed last year almost 170 million transactions. If we compare to 2023, the increase almost 300%, in terms of, number of transactions. Switch, please. And this is the volumes, the values of transactions, The ACE system, the retail payment system for account-to-account transfers is also almost, 30% increase in terms of, values. Oman Net Switch also almost, 20% increase in terms of, the value of transactions, which is consists of ATM, point of sale, and e-commerce. In terms of, check clearing, almost it is 10 million, and it is within that rank from 2022 to 2024. The aim is to reduce that one as much as possible. And the value of our instant payment systems has increased also from 1.7 billion to 5.5 billion last year. However, this year, I think we will reach close to 10 million, because what we noticed in the first quarter and second quarter, there's a lot of, boost of transaction, and His Excellency has, mentioned that, 1.3 million transactions a day. However, in the recent 2 days, we recorded the peak of transaction, which exceeds 1.4 million transactions in one day. Now, the adoption of the system is being widely used, and now many customers, the instant payment is becoming like daily life activity. It is required for their daily life transactions. Switch, please. This information shows us that what is the adoption for digital payments and how people, our society, doing transactions. It has, how, card payments, card payments, channels like ATM, point of sale, and e-commerce adopted in the country. If you notice that the ATM is shrinking from 17% in 2022 to 8% in 2024, whereas the e-commerce and point of sale transaction increasing, and I think within 2025 we will reach almost 6% in terms of ATMs, and the remaining will be all digital payments. Next, please. In terms of infrastructure of payment acceptance, we have noticed there is also increase in terms of the acceptance point of sale, and this increase even from last 3-4 years was due to the effort of CBO with the banks, BSPs as well, and collaboration with Ministry of Commerce that mandating digital payments and certain activities. So with the adoption of SoftPOS, the total number of point of sale infrastructure has increased from almost, you can say, 88 devices, and reach across 100,000 acceptance points. And I think with this will increase in this year, hopefully to reach more than 110 or even more. Next, please. During the discussion in the panel, I have mentioned about ongoing initiatives that central bank is working in terms of upgrading, in terms of enhancing, putting our infrastructure at par with the international practices and the new technologies. So we have implemented what they call the direct debit, and last year the banks has adopted the e-mandate for direct debit, where now the mandate can be initiated digitally and can be authorized within only minutes. So that the aim is to replace, checks with direct debit. So today, majority of the checks in the market are all EMIs, every month installments for financing, for renting, and etc. So now we're trying to achieve that, to replace all of these checks with the e-mandate. It's one-time authorization by the customer, and the recurring payment will happen from the system directly without any manual interventions, without any need to do any manual operations. So this will make the life very easy for the banks, for the corporates, for the customers. So a couple of banks already launched the platform, and we can notice that one in the mobile banking applications and internet banking application of the banks. You can now initiate, e-mandate very easily by putting the required information. And it will, the customer will be prompted for the authorization. They will read all the terms and conditions. And the direct debit is legally protected in bar with the checks. So checks today is, there is, what you call penal, punishment, and there is commercial punishment as well. The same direct debit also having the same weight of legal protection. We have implemented IBAN since 2023 for international transactions, and from this year, end of June, the bank should not accept, non-IBAN transaction and coming inwards transaction from outside. And we are now implementing IBAN for domestic payments. IBAN is being used to make the transaction very easy, secure, and free of errors. Also, in continuation with our, making our payment system infrastructure inclusive and having all the payment systems to be run locally, so we are doing what we call domestic card scheme that, we'll have our own scheme for cards, for debit, prepaid, and credit cards, and also intend to accept for point of sale, ATM, and e-commerce. And inshallah, soon the pilot for the project will be launched with a couple of banks. I have mentioned the BNL is that we're upgrading our ACH and instant payment platform for new, services and new functions that's required by the market. In the ACH, we're adding a payment initiator model where, a third party can initiate with the banks or BSBs. They can initiate a payment between two parties, with the, authorization mechanism. And in instant payment platform, we are adding new functionalities and, like NFC payments, as well as, account-to-account transfer. Currently, transaction is happening from mobile to mobile, QR code or alias. We are adding also, the transfer can be initiated through account number, which also helps the banks who does not have, mobile banking application to be part of this platform. In terms of e-commerce payment, we have implemented the current payment gateway in 2016, and since that time, a lot of development and changes has happened in terms of for the e-commerce and payment gateways. So now we are implementing a new payment gateway for e-commerce, which helps merchants, fintechs, banks to do transaction onboarding for merchants in participating for fintech third parties to the platform very easily, securely, and seamlessly. And the plan is to launch the system in the quarter, by quarter 4 of this year. Also, we are working in the initiative for, partial check payment, where, the beneficiary can get, part of the money of the check, if in case, the money is not fully available within, the account. So we are launching this one with the government directives. And this feature, inshallah, we're trying to achieve it within, quarter 4 of this year. Also, we are working to onboard the banks into AFAQ. AFAQ is a cross-border payment system between GCC countries. Is GCC RTGS system, with linking all the commercial banks and financial institutions within GCC under one platform, which is called AFAQ. So now we have launched the system in 2023. Central Bank and 2 banks has joined the platform. Now we are adding the remaining of the banks, and almost within this year, inshallah, the big banks and medium-sized banks will be part of this platform.
Thank you to Mr. Ali Al-Jabri from CBO. It is time now to move on to a special presentation, and the table just next to Sheikh Khalil Harthi had a lot of discussions going on at the side, but in a way that most of us may not understand the sign language that is very important for people who have hearing impaired. So coming up next is a special presentation by the Oman Association for the Hearing Impaired as we continue our journey through the New Age Banking Summit of 2025. And for that, I would like to welcome Mr. Raga, who is the Talent Learning Consultant at Rab Consult, who of course work directly with the association, and she will share her insights through a short address, and then it will be followed by a powerful and deeply moving speech delivered by the individuals from the hearing impaired community themselves.
Assalamu alaikum. It's great to be here with all of you today. I am Raga. I represent Rab Consulting, a leading HR consulting firm and one of the first in the region to start crafting digital learning programs. So I would like to take a couple of minutes to talk about a unique opportunity that we had to design a learning outcome for banking sector, which is like banking employees. It's called A Guide to Sign Language for Inclusivity. So this course is in line with CBO's mandate and Oman's Vision 2040 to promote inclusivity in the banking sector, making banking easier and more welcoming for people with hearing impairments. We saw this as a great opportunity to support that goal, so we collaborated with Oman Association for the Hearing Impaired team and created a simple practical course that includes 4 levels of sign language and assessments within the course, which helps bank employees to learn the basics just enough to communicate clearly with hearing impaired customers and assist them with the simple queries like opening an account or making a transaction. So we are happy that Bank Niswa has already launched this program, and it's encouraging to see that other banks are also interested in it, and we are actively in touch with them. And we wish and hope that all banks bring in inclusivity into their services, not just for those who are hearing impaired, whether someone has physically abled or any other challenge, they should be able to walk into the bank and feel supported. So now I would like to present a small snippet of the work which we have did. Can you? Yes. Yes. So now I'd like to invite the team from the Oman Association for the Hearing Impaired. We have with us Mr. Hamoud Ashidani, the chairman of the Association for the Hearing Impaired, who will address the gathering using sign language. Joining him is Mr. Saleh Al-Tai, a certified sign language interpreter who will interpret Hamoud's message for us. And after this, we'll also have Rimal Mamri, the director of the Association for the Hearing Impaired. She'll share us more about the amazing work they're doing and how we can support their mission.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. معكم حمود الشيداني رئيس الجمعية العمانية للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. شكرا لإتاحة الفرصة لنا اليوم في حضور هذا الحدث وكذلك للحديث عن البرنامج التعليمي الإلكتروني الذي أطلقته الشركة ريم البوادي بالتعاون مع الجمعية العمانية للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية لتعزيز الاندماج في الخدمات المصرفية وإرشادات للموظفين البنوك بلغة الإشارة. الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية يواجهون تحديات يومية بسبب حواجز التواصل. يعرف هذا البرنامج لموظفي البنوك بأهمية الشمول ويزودهم بلغة الإشارة المصرفية لتسهيل التعامل وتمكين الجميع من الوصول للخدمات بكل راحة وثقة. النتيجة تجربة مصرفية أكثر فهماً وشمولاً. وشكراً لكم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معكم ريم المعمري مديرة الجمعية العمانية للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. طبعا نحن اليوم موجودين هنا وشكرا لإتاحة لنا الفرصة في المشاركة في هذا الحدث المميز، وكذلك لتعرفتكم من هي الجمعية العمانية للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية وإيش هو الشخص الأصم والأشياء اللي يواجهها في حياته اليومية. طبعا الجمعية العمانية للأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية جمعية خيرية غير ربحية تحت مظلة وزارة التنمية الاجتماعية، أشهرت بقرار وزاري في عام 2013 تأتي لهدف رعاية الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية في سلطنة عمان بشكل كافة، وتأتي لتمكين الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة ودمجهم في المجتمع بشكل عام. طبعاً أهداف الجمعية متعددة، عدة أهداف، منها هي توفير المعينات السمعية لأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية، سواء كانت عن طريق الدعم الخارجي عن طريق المؤسسات الحكومية أو القطاع الخاص، وكذلك توفر الخدمات التقنية مثل الاتصال المرئي للأشخاص الأصم في حال مواجهة مشكلة في سواء لزيارة المؤسسات الحكومية والخاصة لمراجعة أي شيء من الممكن. نحن موفرين مترجم لغة إشارة في الجمعية يساعدهم للترجمة الإشارية عن طريق الاتصال المرئي. كذلك نعمل محاضرات توعوية ودينية وثقافية للأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. مثل ما تعرفون الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية يواجهوا صعوبة المعرفة، إذا ما كان في أشياء مترجمة بلغة الإشارة هم ما يعرفوا، ما توصلهم المعرفة، فلا بد أن نحن ننشر التوعية والمعرفة ما بين الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية وأسرهم. وكذلك العمل على تدريب وتأهيل الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية في المجتمع بشكل عام. الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية نأهلهم لسوق العمل وندربهم ونأهلهم للوظائف. مثل ما تعرفوا أن عندنا أشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية ما شاء الله عليهم تخرجوا من أمريكا وصلوا هني بامتياز مرتبة شرف، فهذه الكورسات تساعدهم على أنهم هم توصلهم المعرفة بشكل عام في حال وصولهم إلى السلطنة أو كانوا أنهم متخرجين من الكليات والجامعات الخاصة من سلطنة عمان، فتؤهلهم للمسارات الوظيفية القادمة. كذلك البحث عن فرص عمل للباحثين من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. طبعا هذه المشكلة عندنا شوية نواجهها، نبحث عن مسارات وظيفية تخص ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. كذلك نوفر لهم الخدمات التقنية لتمكنهم من التواصل مع الأشخاص الناطقين بشكل عام. طبعاً تماشياً مع رؤية عمان 2040 تأتي لعدة نواحي، من أهمها دمج وتمكين الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية. طبعاً نحن نمكن الشخص الأصم ونطلق العنان اللي فيه ونكسر حاجز الصمت، كذلك نشر دور لغة الإشارة ونشر دور ثقافة الشخص الأصم في المجتمع بشكل عام. طبعا لنكسر هذا الحاجز لابد أن نحن ندرب الأشخاص الناطقين أو ننشر ثقافة دور الأصم في اللي هي المجتمع، ككون اللي هي لغة التواصل ما بين الشخص الناطق والشخص الأصم. كذلك تضامنا مع الرؤية نحن نمكن الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية في عدة مجالات، وكذلك نرعى حقوقهم وواجباتهم في المجتمع ونحافظ على أي شيء يخص الأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقة السمعية ونضمن لهم قضاياهم وندافع عن حقوقهم بشكل عام. طبعا شكرا جزيلا لاستماعكم، حاولت أني ما أطول معاكم بخصوص الوقت. شكرا جزيلا.
So thank you to, first of all, Mrs. Raga from RAB, and thank you once again also to the Association for the Hearing Impaired, Oman Association for Hearing Impaired, for this presentation. And thank you to all the banking sector initiatives that work, so whether regulatory or banks themselves, in supporting such noble cause. And hopefully all challenges will be put aside for people with hearing impaired. Thank you very much for that. It is time now to move on to our final presentation. And then we will have a small awarding ceremony, and that will be us for the day. So we will hear from Trend Micro, who is a global leader in cybersecurity. And to represent them and bring in on stage is Mr. Mohammed Hassan, who is from Tawasul Integrated Telecom. He is the CEO of Tawasul Integrated Telecom. Welcome to the stage.
I hope I will not take a lot of time of you, but allow me just first to open my notes. I was trying to take a couple of keywords from each and every speaker and panelist in this session, where I listed a couple of words starting from dream, vision, financial transaction, financial institution, banks, fintech and startups, BSPs, money exchange, huge data sets, huge data silos, customer profile, shareholder information, talent challenges. No one can go outside Oman, not actually traveling, but going to the public cloud. You can go to Oman Data Park, they are here. Leveraging technology, a huge increase in digital payment, cybersecurity plans, and last but not least, AI, so many times. So, first of all, allow me to introduce the first in the world platform that has been initiated in collaboration between Tawasul, Oman Data Park, and Trend Micro as international cybersecurity provider. I believe most of you here are aware of the national priorities in Oman 2040 vision. The priorities that we are working on it to conclude this project is the private sector investment and international collaboration. This is where we collaborated with Trend Micro and brought their platform from the public cloud and hosted inside the country in Oman Data Park. This priority allows us to increase the PPP, which is a private-public partnership. The private sector is our company, Tawasul Integrated Telecom, and the semi-government or the government sector, which is Oman Data Park, and collaboration with the international companies, which is Trend Micro. On top of this, we incorporated the labor market employee. Today, we all know that we have a shortage in the talent, but acquiring such solutions will bring from the global market talent to enhance and increase the security posture and the security portfolio of Oman. The third, but not least, the economic diversification. This is another priority in Oman 2040 vision that supported us to invest in such solution where we take care of the infrastructure and cybersecurity. Infrastructure is the most important part to provide services in the banking sector, and the cybersecurity to secure the data and the customer information. This part allows us to comply with the requirement from CDC and TRA, making sure that all the data is still sovereign and localized inside Oman. No data will leave Oman borders whatsoever. So you are secured end-to-end in Oman. Allow me just to give you an overview about the solution, where the financial sector and the banking sector is the most important part to look after it from the reputation point of view, because one of the speakers today said each and every vulnerability might cost us 5.8 million, which means a huge damage, either financially or reputation damage. So the solution in brief is the XDR, where it provides a correlation between the endpoint, network, and server security. I will not go deep diver in the technology as a solution, just to give you an overview about the challenges and the benefit of the solution. If we go to the benefit, we improve the visibility, big time. We improve also the detection. God forbidden anything happen to your infrastructure, we will be able to identify that faster and being able to respond even faster. Reduce the operation overhead, because our system is occupied with AI technology that support us to identify and resolve some of the issues based on the playbox. The fourth point is enhance the threat hunting. Today we have a huge threat hunting every day because the financial sector is targeted by all the hackers, all the illegal institutions. These are the benefits of the solution that we offer you. Based on the 2023 report about 2022, Trend Micro secured more than 60% of the total threats over all the world, which give us more than any other vendor in the world who can provide. If you can see the other vendors also listed here, I will not mention, but Trend Micro owns 60% of the vulnerabilities. Examples of what we can do, we can leverage the large enterprises to reduce the alert by 90%. So many details and technical. I don't want to elaborate more technically. I just want to give you the added value of the solution. If you require any other details, any technical details, please contact us or contact ODB team to give you more details about our solution. So we can respond efficiently. We can stop the malicious attacks, any malicious emails. We can stop it easily and fast. This is why we invested in this solution. V1 SBC today is totally hosted in Oman. So we have no connection to outside Oman. We have all the information that you are taking care of it and you are securing it resides here in Oman, and we can take care of it. These are all the mandates from CDC, MTC, IT that we need to make sure that our data is sovereign, our data resides in Oman, and this is the most or the biggest driver for us to invest in this solution. I will not take it long, just give you an overview about the solution. This is the same box, which is hosted in Oman Data Park currently, and the solution provide multiple tenancy. So all the banks can be there, but none of the banks can see each other. All the financial institutions can be our customers, but none of them can see other bank details. We can explore this more also during any technical discussion. And thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Mohammed Hassan, the CEO of Tawasul Integrated Telecom, for this one. And there are certificates for the CBFS students. Unfortunately, we have Mr. Atulia Sharma, who is busy. He can't hand them over. So I'll just read the names out for recognition. Then you can come later on to the console, the CBFS students, to collect your certificates from here at the site. So Mr. Abdullah Al-Mahrouqi, Ali Al-Na'bi, Ali Al-Maskari, Hassan Al-Lawati, Jasim Al-Alawi, Widad Al-Kharousi, Dr. Wafa Al-Lawati, and Ammar Al-Blushi. Give them a round of applause. They deserve it. So we do have certificates ready for all of you. And it was unfortunately unplanned because Mr. Atulia had an emergent thing to go for. Ladies and gentlemen, as our day is about to end and this transformative ideas do come to a close, we reflect on our remarkable time that we spent here and the insights that were shared for future banking and the future of banking as well here in the country, from disruption and innovation to resilience. So on behalf of the entire organizing team from UMS and all the partners, we extend our deepest appreciation to distinguished speakers, panelists, and of course, everyone of you, our valued attendees, for making this event a success. NABS 10 this year was amazing in its 10th edition. And as we conclude the New Age Banking Summit of 2025, we extend our sincere gratitude to the sponsors who made this event possible and whose support today made everything happen. Thank you to our strategic partners who are Suhar International, GBM and Cisco, cloud service partners who are Oman Data Park, associate partners United Securities and United GCC Fund, and insurance partner Liva Insurance. Education partner is the College of Banking and Financial Studies, our support partners Mala'a and Credit Oman, and of course our automotive partner Shangan, who you can view their vehicles, who are here, one in the hall and one outside as well. Your invaluable contributions have made this happen. Thank you all once again, and until we meet in the next edition, which is 11th edition of NABS, stay inspired, stay innovative, and stay ahead of the game. And now we are staying ahead of the game in everything. It's time to stay ahead of the game when it comes to lunch. So we invite you all to have your delicious lunch and see you next time.